this whole team does. I mean, they got props. We have tortillas coming very soon, like now. And that opening kickoff will lead to Kansas touching it first. Stone Harrington with the boot, and here is Jalen Daniels, who has been around a lot of college football. His 40th career start. He's seen winless seasons. He's seen comeback seasons. Everything under the sun. And Jalen Daniels knows upsets.
Yes, he does. He knows upsets. And when we asked him about this game, what does it mean to you? What do you got to do? He said, I just got to go out and play another game. Appreciate every single moment. He will not be rattled by this environment. And if he's not rattled, then his team won't be rattled. Let's see if they can go out here and get done what they need to on this first drive. And that's try to silence this crowd. Listen to him.
And on the first play, you see a couple of tight ends in motion for the Kansas Jayhawks. LeShawn Williams with the carry on first down behind an offensive line that has its work cut out for it, including Bryce Foster in the middle.
Yeah, Bryce Foster, he's got to be the one that's getting all the points done when they do all these motions and shifts. So I've actually seen him climb to the second level, and I think he's an underrated center at that position right now. And then on the back end, when you look at the wide receivers and the skill guys, Emmanuel Henderson Jr., former number 2 overall running back in the country, transfer from Alabama, who's transitioned to wide receiver, and he's one of the best wide receivers in the Big 12. Watch for him deep down the field. They're going to move him around, be their Where's Waldo gadget type of guy.
And notable, Robert Henderson, a big play guy. Notable that Kansas just huddled for a long while there, trying to sap some time off the clock. Daniels using that elusiveness you were talking about. He gets to the 34. It'll be 3rd down and 1. This defense for Texas Tech, 11 points a game, and these defensive ends are nasty.
David Bailey and Romello Height, watch the get off when these guys get up the field. It's Von Miller-esque. You talk about Senior Sack being out here at Texas Tech. They know what it looks like. And then you got number 10, Jacob Rodriguez, one of the best linebackers in the country. I think he's a little bit like Ed Reed with how he freestyles. And then John Curry there, the nickelback. This is the guy who is a legacy here at Texas Tech and a playmaker for them on defense.
Kansas will run. They've not been very good on 3rd down at all, but Williams has the first down. That's a big change for Kansas this year. They're 126th on 3rd down.
Yes, they're going to motion the guy back in and then bring him right back out, the tight end on the block. You're going to see a lot of this right there. Carson Brunn does a nice job getting up to the second level, creating just enough space for the running back, LeShawn Williams, to get the first down.
That motion for Texas Tech's defense, we'll watch it all day. What does that do just generally?
What it makes them do is it changes the strength of the formation, and they don't know if they're going to continue running to the flat, if they're going to stop and come back, so they have to pay attention to their keys.
That was Cam Pickett in motion as Daniels releases over to the far side. They'll get a first down with Bowden Gruen, one of those tight ends. Kansas's tight end room, you mentioned Bruin already, has been lethal this year.
Yeah, Kansas uses their tight ends just about as much as anyone else in the country. And why is that? It creates mismatches. You get these guys lined up on linebackers who aren't really built to cover. They're built to play the run, and they're making them play the run, play the pass, and then you're going to see them hit those seams down the middle of the field when they least expect it.
They'll go 5 wide, but one of those wide receivers is a tight end. Bruin, the freshman, back in. Kansas sapping time off the clock already, and this is a designed run for Daniels, and he is stacked up and dropped. Lee Hunter, who is a ball of energy, gets him for a loss of 1.
How do you stop the quarterback draw? Right here. You get penetration right up the middle so you can stop the run before it ever gets started. So you talk about Lee Hunter. These guys are making sure they're stout at the point of attack, and that is why that Kansas offensive line could not get to the second level to open it up.
There is an injured party down for Texas Tech that's currently being surrounded at the 46-yard line. Looks like our crew saying it looks like Skylar Gill Howard, who is down, the senior defensive lineman.
Play clock operator, please reset the play clock to 40 seconds. Thank you.
Fox College football is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Home and auto coverage you can count on. Here in Lubbock, you see the new logo there for Texas Tech. The injury to Skylar Gill-Howard. He was helped onto the cart. He's getting a big round of applause here. And you talk about a guy who's had a journey to Northern Illinois before here. Before that, he was at Upper Iowa, a non-Division I school, and the collective of guys from around the country that have come here and put together a marvelous start to this year. You can say all you want about the transfer portal and one-year rentals, whatever it might be. He just felt the love in a big way of a fan base that has embraced everybody in black this year.
Exactly, Jason. And he's one of the foursome up front that allows them to get to the quarterback without sending pressure. And you remember he had that pick six against Kent State, 55-yarder. They're going to miss him in this game, but we're praying for his health.
A.J. Holmes is in for him. That was Henderson in motion out of the backfield. And Jalen Daniels with loads of time. Now that closes, and he'll whistle it out of bounds. It's 3rd down and 11. Great coverage from Texas Tech.
Great coverage, and if you talk about a weakness for this defense, it could be the back end. So when they're having to cover for 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5, that's a long time. So credit to them using the pass rush to shell Jalen Daniels in and keep him in the pocket and not allow him to extend the play. Beautiful job right there by the secondary.
Texas Tech has a top 10 pressure rate in the FBS, and they do it quite often by rushing 4. We'll see what they bring on a 3rd down and 11. It's a delayed blitz, and they get there, and Bailey finishes the deal. It was Height first, and Bailey, you said it off the top. They crashed in together, a loss of 15.
These two guys are a menace to the quarterback in the pocket, and you're going to see Romello Height comes from here. David Bailey is on the outside. Height standing around in that spinner look, comes off the right edge. Both of those guys to the same side. You got to be kidding me. The quarterback is running for his life, and when those two get their arms around you, you're not getting away.
When they both get there, all bets are off. It's punt time for Finn Lappin for Kansas, and that goes rolling out of bounds away from Coy Aiken. So Alexa talked about Baron Morton, a young man who loves this program and Texas football in this state. Texas Tech offense next. time for Three's Keys, our weekly adventure.
That's right, and it's Hoodie Kermit this week. Hoodie Kermit always ends up in the zone, and Texas Tech has to do the same. Touchdowns, not field goals in the red zone. That alone could blow this game open for them. For Kansas, you got to stop the parade, man. Tech's offense is having their way with every defense they face because they can run the ball. Stop the run, and then it's a honky-tonk protection type of day, guys. It's going to be loud. It's going to be rowdy. But when the music starts, you got to hold your ground. They got to protect their quarterback.
And that's the thing. The music starts fast. Cameron Dickey right down the zipper of the defense to strike up the band. 71 yards.
Cameron Dickey, Mr. Reliable as they call him, had a 70-yarder last week. This week, watch this double team right here and this double team right here between the tackle and the guard. And Cameron Dickey is going to take it right down the middle, and there's nobody home. This is what we like to call getting Dickey with it. We see you, Cameron.
He told us in our meetings, Robert, he said, good players make one guy miss. Great players make two guys miss. What is it when you score a touchdown, you don't make anybody miss because you're fast?
That's what you say. I'm going to take my offensive line out for dinner after that one.
Man, that is worst case scenario for Kansas times 10.
Just watch this, full speed.
All right, tell everybody what stood out most about Cameron Dickey when you talked to him.
What I talked to him is those big old thunder thighs. I'm talking, this guy looks like Saquon Barkley in person, Quadzilla, whatever you want to call him. But Jason, my mama told me the fastest way to get from point A to point B is a straight line.
Straight line.
And that's all Cameron Dickey had to do.
He's a powerhouse tailback. And you know the greatest thing about it is, you talk about unselfish. We said, what's the most important thing for you to do in that game tomorrow? When we talked to him yesterday, he didn't say 71-yard touchdown. He said pass protection. They didn't have to pass it. It was one play for a touchdown. But this, you get the sense this is a very unselfish team for Texas Tech, even with the guys coming from all sorts of different places. Joey McGuire was a very successful high school football coach here in Texas. He knows how to build camaraderie, and he said it to you. He's like, look, I am very much a CEO here who focuses on that word you hear, culture.
Yeah, he's a culture builder. And listen, Joey McGuire was at a point when he was the head coach at Cedar Hill where they were coming up in his fourth year, going up against Hebron, who had just won a state title. And he had guys that I played with, Romy Blaylock, John Jones, Chris Francis, and he brought that up in our meeting, and he felt like this team and the way they played against Utah earlier this season was that breakthrough moment that they now believe they can be dominant consistently.
He's now facing a different quarterback. Cole Ballard is in. He will run straight ahead. The ball came loose. Ballard fumbles it. It's on the deck, and Texas Tech says they have it. Oh, my goodness. You thought this place was loud at kickoff.
Right here, you're going to see Brendan Jordan, the safety, come in and put a hat right on the ball. And even though the quarterback, Cole Ballard, has two hands on it, that bad boy comes out and it's free. And then David Bailey, number 31, their pass rushing guru, finds a way to hop on top of that ball as it's flying around like a hot potato.
Joey McGuire always says 3 takeaways, right? He wants 3 takeaways. They're +6, now +7 this year in the takeaway department. 12 total, right? The 5 giveaways makes it the +7. But now Kansas, like Lance Leipold said to us, get it to the fourth quarter. They might struggle, depending on this possession, to get it to the second quarter. Texas Tech an early flurry, and Baron Morton has loads of time. He rolls to his right, now back to the left. Morton, the right-handed quarterback, just wings it out of bounds. No reason to do too much. His father always told him, be needy, not greedy. And there, greed stayed away.
Yes, Baron Morton, that's growth for him. Anyone who's watched him over the course of his career knows, listen, you see the completion percentage there, you see the passing yards per game, and the touchdown to interception ratio. But this guy is not a little bit of a gunslinger. He's a whole lot of a gunslinger. He has never seen a throw that he doesn't like, and that, to me, showed growth.
This is a run, and it's a huge hole again for Dickey. He only ends up with 59 fewer yards that time. It's 12 behind a Texas Tech offensive line that has guys from all sorts of different places and a freshman right tackle who's played well. But Davion Carter stands out to you.
Yes, he is a 6 foot, 295-pound guard living in a sea of 6'5" giants.
It's another first down run. I love football for that, right? Doesn't matter the body type. You play well, you figure it out.
Exactly, and he is a people mover. You always say in the interior, in the trenches, the low man wins. Well, he's always going to be the low man, okay? Because he's not the tallest guy, but he's powerful. He squats a ton of weight, and when you look at him, teams say, you know, we're going to try to isolate this guy and attack him, and then they realize, hey, this guy can play.
Big time. Second down and 6. Right back to Dickey running to the right, and that'll be a tackle for loss by Keenan Caldwell, the senior defensive tackle for a Kansas defense. The front seven obviously is going to have its work cut out for it today. The back end as well, and this Texas Tech offense still does throw it a little bit more than they run it, but they pass it better and more efficiently.
They do, and you see highlighted there Jalen Todd. He is the best cover corner and the best corner for this Kansas defense, but it's not just about him. They've only got one of him. It's the other guys that have to cover this dynamic group of Texas Tech wide receivers.
Third down and 7. There's the pickup by Dickey. Beautifully done. Terrence Carter Jr. waltzes in for a 21-yard touchdown, and the swarm continues.
So sometimes we see these touchdown passes and we wonder, oh, what happened? I want you to watch Cameron Dickey right here step up in the pocket and put a block on linebacker Trey Lathan to give his quarterback an opportunity to find the wide open tight end Terrence Carter Jr. for the touchdown. That never happens if Cameron Dickey doesn't do what he said he was going to do.
Yeah, and why not go for 2 just for fun, right? John Carlos Miller runs it in for Texas Tech. It's 15 love.
Look at this formation.
This is ridiculous.
Holy cow. Direct snap right to John Carlos Miller at the second, and he just runs it in for a 2-point conversion. Oh my goodness, they are getting tricky with it out there.
All night, no breaks, I'll tell, no gate.
Yeah, when you walk into a football stadium and you're immediately down big, what happens is the team you're facing, typically Texas Tech this year in the graphic we're showing you, they've won every game by at least 24, and this is a big reason why. You don't have a chance to stabilize yourself against them.
Every single strength coach in the country tells their guys you got to start fast and finish strong, and Texas Tech is starting faster than anyone else in the country.
That leads us to our power players, sponsored by Ram Trucks. Nothing stops Ram. Jacob Rodriguez, the linebacker for this defense that you called the best in college football off the top of the show. What makes him so good, Robert?
Well, Jason, it's because he's a former quarterback, of course, right? Former quarterbacks just have this thing about them where they know how to play the game. But all jokes aside, Jacob Rodriguez has a little bit of Ed Reed in him. He knows where he's supposed to be, and he knows where the quarterback is expecting him to be. So he uses that and plays other spots once the quarterback gets off their first read, and you'll see that throughout today's game.
Former quarterback, you say? Daniels with a throw, and it's dropped incomplete by Keaton Kubeka. Former quarterback Jacob Rodriguez decides that he just wants to play catch with the fans before the game here. I mean, you talk about, look how excited they are.
Hey, did you see that guy that just caught the ball? They might need to put him at wide receiver in the red zone. He looked like he was at least 6'7".
I think they're pretty deep at wide receiver, I gotta say. But like, this is everything that sports should be, right?
Yes.
Jacob Rodriguez just making friends, taking selfies, by the way, with his new friends.
He understands they need this crowd to be in this game. They need this crowd to be in all of their home games for the rest of the season.
They go double tight end, and they go with Henderson, and he is smoked by Rodriguez. So he's friendly with the crowd, but not to the guys across the line of scrimmage from him.
Yeah, and this is one of the special things about Jacob Rodriguez. You're going to see he's coming all the way from the backside, and he's going to make the tackle all the way across the formation from a jet sweep action to one of the best receivers in the country. And you saw the way he finished there. He didn't just try to just get him down. He finished him with authority, ran through his near shoulder, and let him know, hey, man, I'm going to be here all day.
As will this entire defense, and you can't live all day on 3rd down and 10 as Daniel Highshaw is in, back from injury for Kansas. But you see Bailey standing up, Height standing up. They do get it away. It's caught by Henderson, and he is dropped immediately by Amir Boyd, the junior transfer from UTEP. This is as solid of a defense, tackling-wise, you're going to see as well.
It is, and this is Amir Boyd right here. And listen, Kansas is number 12 in the country in yards after the catch because they break tackles like that on the edge. But Amir Boyd said, not today, buddy. I'm going to get you down to the ground. That's why I played that soft cushion so I could rally up and make that play. You love to see that from the secondary. I guess corners can tackle.
The counter to what you're saying is Texas Tech just does not miss tackles at all. So Kansas's yard after the catch is going to be stressed by a
Texas Tech covered for you on K-Mac News and the Sports Office on EL Plus. A free app available on your smart TV. You can download it today. For the rest of the first half.
Fox College football is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. That is 60 more years than they're celebrating this year. 100 years of Texas Tech football dating back to 1925. This is the 101st season, and we said off the top, could be their best team. 2008, Michael Crabtree, Graham Harrell, they start 10-0. They lost 2 of 3 to close, but they look unstoppable right now.
This team is phenomenal. I played against that 2008 Graham Harrell, Michael Crabtree team. It wasn't fun.
It didn't look like it. Caleb Douglas on the catch and run. And our team comparison sponsored by IHG Hotels and Resorts. That play is going to bring down the average a little bit.
17.8 yards per play, and they haven't even run that many plays yet.
Jacoby Williams running behind the left side of the line at Sampson, and it's a first down for Texas Tech.
Oh, watch these big old locomotives getting around and getting out in front of Jacoby Williams, cutting off the backside edge. Oh, I mean, we couldn't show it to you because they're running plays so fast, but, man, they are running the crap out of the football right now.
Ponton was pulling, well done, as Reggie Virgil, the intended target, and DJ Graham knocks it away, second down.
Brings up second down, 10 to go.
Yeah, Jacob Ponton, the redshirt freshman in his second year at Texas Tech, just 4 games last year, the right tackle. You see the athleticism on that play.
Yeah, this O-line isn't just big. They have good hips and good feet, so they can get out in front, and they love pulling both of those guards and tackles.
Morton had a free runner. He gets it away and got it to Virgil, who skates by 1 tackle and thunders forward. It was Graham in there first, who could not wrestle him down. It's another gain of 12.
And this is what we call a nice little scout route. He's going to push vertical and run that out route. And Reggie Virgil is known as lightning in the bottle deep down the field, but he's showing you right here he can make the catch, break the tackle, and get vertical for the first down. These wide receivers are extremely talented for Texas Tech.
He won a conference title at Miami, Ohio, as Morton checks it down, taking the easy way home to Carter that time, who will pick up a couple as Trey Lathan makes the stop. Second down and 7. But the play total as well for Texas Tech. We saw a quick touchdown early, 71 yards in the first touch. After that, though, they're a flurry.
Yeah, they want to run 100 plays a game if they possibly can. They got close last week with 94. That is their mission. How many plays can we run? How many points can we score?
On a handoff to Williams, who goes face to face and breaks the tackle. Williams to the 25-yard line. Austin Alexander and Williams were a long, long way from each other for a moment, and then together fast.
Ooh. Oh, Lord, get that man some milk. Austin Alexander had to rearrange his face. Jacoby Williams, again, another home run hitting back, showing that he can play physical too.
Oh, patience there as well for Williams, who's twisted down by Jalen Todd. Texas Tech to the 11, first down again.
And this is the beauty of it right there. Terrence Carter Jr., who caught the touchdown pass, the tight end, comes inside and puts a block on the second-level linebacker. These guys are really willing to give it up for their teammates.
That was Morton for Douglas. Second down coming up, and that's a credit to Joey McGuire, as there's a marker in. Hold that thought on the camaraderie, which we also have with our officiating crew. It's their turn. At some point, it will be their turn.
There is no foul for an eligible player downfield. The ball was tipped. Result of the play is first down.
I think he means second down. Kevin's got it. There you go.
Nice job, Benetti. Yeah, so they're running an RPO, so the offensive line kind of got a little far down the field, you know, beyond that barrier that they can have. And if that would have been caught and the ball wasn't tipped, then it would have been an illegal man down the field. But all that's a moot point now. Or as my guy Joey says from Friends, a moot point.
You mean mute. You just did the anti-Joey. How you doing? You can't even say it wrong if you try.
That is true.
It's great. Second down. Morton on a design run. Baron Morton is upended. That time he was running behind the center, Sheridan Wilson, and it's 3rd down on the tackle from Todd. Red zone has been a problem for Texas Tech this year. They're 103rd in the country in red zone touchdowns. Why?
Because they're not taking enough shots on goal. When they get the ball thrown into the end zone, when we talked to offensive coordinator Mac Leftwich, that's what they want to do. So I anticipate them doing that right here.
Off the bunch. Oh, Douglas ran into Aiken and then caught the ball, but he's dropped by Alexander. Douglas and Aiken ran into each other to gum up that play.
Yeah, so you're going to see Douglas come on this little shallow route. They're just trying to set the depth for each other, and they accidentally run into each other at the end. If he didn't run into him, I think he would have had more momentum and had a chance to get away from number 0, Austin Alexander there, and possibly run that in for a touchdown. But they didn't, and now they're having to settle for another field goal, which was one of the keys at the beginning of this game. Got to score touchdowns in the red zone.
From Upton Belafont, who has been perfect. Upton Funk continues. 18-0, Texas Tech with the lead. Texas Tech 18-0 over Kansas. 3:38 to go, quarter number 1. This has been a dominant team across the board. And you see an 11-play drive and a 1-play drive.
Yeah, and they can do it all, and they've shown us late in games that they can just buckle down, bring the 2 tight ends in, and run the football at will. So far today, it does feel like their best weapon, Jason, has been their running game, and they're running through this Kansas defense like they're not even there.
Started with play number 1. Harrington the kickoff. Henderson does get a chance at it from the 3. Emmanuel Henderson is run down at the 14. So we talk about the offense and defense. The special teams part of that too. But 48.5 points a game on offense, second best. You talked about the defense off the top, but they play well together.
Yes, it's complementary football when you talk about these two, one of 2 FBS teams to be top 5 in both offense and defensive production. That's why Joey McGuire is the guy that he is and why he's the culture builder. And you see, look at the fans in the stands. Look at the players on the field, the excitement that they're bringing. They understand that this is a special season. They have a special team, and they've got to make the most of it. So far today, they've done just that.
The student section was full like 2 hours before the game. Right when they opened the doors, Daniels on the roll. He's going to throw on the go, and he gets it away to Bryson Canty to set up a first down for Kansas. A much needed first down to the Columbia transfer.
And right now for Kansas, I go back to my basketball references. Everything is difficult for them. They're doing between the legs, triple windmill, 360 dunks to get 5 yards. And for Texas Tech on offense and defense, it's almost like, you know, cutting on the backside, bounce pass with the thumbs down, finding easy ways to make plays. Kansas has to find a way to get easy completions for Jalen Daniels.
Like that to Quebeca, who's just short of the 30-yard line. Was hit by Balfour along with Wisniewski, the North Dakota State transfer, second down.
And here's the thing, 2nd and 6 is a down that any offensive coordinator would live with. So, yeah, you're down 18. Maybe you have to hit these small underneath throws to get your quarterback in rhythm and your receivers to feel like they're a part of the game and just methodically work your way down the field. You can't get back 18 points in one play. Kansas has to remain patient.
But they're used to like 8 yards of play. Lance Leipold's team has been very good on first down this year. Daniels has to scoop that up and bail. Daniels showing the wheels. And he's to the 34. He's very close, and it looks like he's going to be a little bit short.
And what did I say in the open? You're going to see bad snap, low. Hey, this should be a negative play. Hey, maybe he could have caught that, but he picks it up and he takes what should be a negative play and turns it into a positive. That is his elusiveness on display there. He is a dynamic playmaker, and you saw it on that easy game.
Jalen Daniels saw that class that he came in with all basically leave. I mean, he's been around for an extra year now, and he said, we're trying to rebuild that love that we had with that whole group that I came in with. And this is a cauldron he's in right now. 3rd down and 1. They're going to let him dive for it over the top. Not exactly the tush push, but it got the job done, and it's 1st down Kansas.
Doesn't it feel like almost every time you see a quarterback get under center for a QB sneak now, the general thought is, oh, it's a tush push.
It's coming.
It's coming. Here, right there, they were trying to do it, but the tight end couldn't get there. He was too fast to get to that B gap.
1st down, Kansas.
Kansas just needs a sustained drive. I mean, their first couple plays went well. There was a loss of 1. Their 2nd and 11 turned into a 3rd and 11. Texas Tech got the ball and scored on the first play. The Red Raiders had it. On a 1st down with Gruen in motion. Daniels, height is behind him, and he smoked him.
Oh my goodness. I almost ducked up here in the booth. Watch Romello Height. He's going to come upfield. The tackle is going to try to jump set him to keep him at the line of scrimmage. And what does he do? He still finds a way to get over the top. And look at the speed of which he gets to the quarterback. Ooh! You have no chance. That's your blind side. And if your left tackle cannot block one of the best pass rushers in the country, hey, he might need some help.
Big time. And from Georgia Tech to USC, Auburn, 3 different schools before he got here to Lubbock. Romello Height, 2nd and 17. Final play of quarter number 1 for Williams, going nowhere. Texas Tech is very
worse. If the check down is there, make that play.
Got to get all the way to the 45, and that's not going to. Gruen is swarmed. The ball came out. For a moment, he's down. The helmet came off as well, so it's going to be 4th down.
Oh my goodness. You're going to watch Bowden Gruen run a little sit route right over the ball, make this catch, and look at this Texas Tech defense swarm. Pull the ball out there from a hit again, this time from number 6, John Curry, coming from depth. And then somehow Gruen hops back on top of it. It seems like things are just getting worse for this Kansas offense every single time they take a snap, Jason.
Maybe not the time for Kansas fans to let you know that Texas Tech has blocked 3 punts this year, but this one is free to Aiken, who just crumples forward to the 21. Henderson, the gunner on the punts with the stop. That hat Baron Morton was wearing in our meeting yesterday. Tell everybody what that means.
Yeah, TSG, top shelf gang, meaning they're going to throw the football up, and their receivers, 6'4" Caleb Douglas, 6'3" Reggie Virgil, 6'2" Coy Aiken, 6'2" Terrence Carter Jr., and 6'5" John Carlos Miller II are going to go to the top shelf and get that ball. And now you see Baron Morton today, 5 of 8. Got a touchdown on the day, very efficient thus far, and they got a nice little pony attack there in the backfield with the tight end and the running back in the pistol.
Yeah, double tight here. Miller, who you mentioned, and then Carter in motion as well, and they'll run behind Miller with Dickey, who pinballs off a 1-man and then leans for 9. The versatility in a world of college football where you want to be able to run everything under the sun with the same personnel package, it's a specialty here.
It is, because these tight ends are not just good run blockers, but they're elite pass catchers as well.
Dickey on the run. Miller is one of their favorite blockers.
Yes. John Carlos Miller II is one of the favorite blockers, and I've talked about number 7, Terrence Carter Jr. This guy's from Killeen, Texas. He made it a point to come find me on the sideline before the game and say, hey, we're from the same place.
Love that. Dickey is cartwheeled down. He was hit by Lyric Rawls, the Oklahoma State transfer. Did you talk to him for longer about blocking or anything like that?
No, I just said, hey, I know you were from the same place. And listen, Jason, if you're from that Coppers Cove, Killeen, Texas area, and you're playing D1 college ball, you must be a baller. We don't get many that come out of there, but guys like Charles Tillman, Peanut Punch is from that area, amongst other greats. And Terrence Carter Jr. is trying to put his name in that category as well.
Morton pulls it and throws it, and nearly intercepted by Todd. It was a great read by Jalen Todd. 3rd down and 8 coming up.
Ooh, Jalen Todd. I'm going to drop a name here. Rondé Barber. You're going to see Jalen Todd right here. He's going to first play and see this inside receiver. Understand that once he goes by, he can fall off to the outside receiver. Rondé Barber used to do that all the time for the Tampa Bay Bucks.
One of the old-time greats. Morton right down the middle for Virgil, and that speed across the 45. 1st down, Texas Tech, just like that, gain of 21.
Oh, my goodness. I love this switch release. You're going to see a switch release in and a switch release out between Reggie Virgil and John Carlos Miller II. Look at him run through the windows in the middle of the field. Smaller receivers in build typically don't do that, but Reggie Virgil is showing his versatility today.
Morton faked the screen and then went to Douglas anyway. A bullet down the right sideline for a 1st down. Little pump and go for you.
Hey, they faked the screen to Caleb Douglas and then had him then run a vertical route down the sideline. Sometimes those DBs think they have the play off. Don't ever think you have a play off against Texas Tech.
Dickey to the 11, but here is the tempo that they provide. Up to the line very quickly.
Yeah, you see the score of the game, 18-0 right now, early in the 2nd quarter, and they're continuing to press. I see my guy, number 56, Davion Carter, right there with his hands on his hips, catching his breath. You see that? But what I would always tell my offensive linemen when we tempoed was, hey, if you're tired, just imagine how tired they are. Go out there and continue to dominate.
And they said, you throw the ball, we'll block. Thanks, though. Dickey on the run. Again, putting the head down and rambling inside the 5. There is a marker in back at the 9. We'll see if it stands. Looks like it's not gonna.
Holding. Number 79, offense. 10-yard penalty. Play 2nd down.
They have Howard Sampson, the transfer from North Carolina by way of North Texas.
Yeah, you're going to see Sampson right here, and they're going to call this shove to the neck a hold. I think it was just the reaction.
Oh, that one too.
Oh, yeah.
So 1 and then the 2nd one.
The shove one, I don't think the 1st one was called at all, but the 2nd one was definitely a hold.
Well, I could see why you thought it.
I definitely
But then the
did.
2nd one was a 10 out of 10 holding.
1,000%. 1,000%. Yeah, you can't do that on a football field.
2nd down. You're like, man, I don't know why there it is. Dickey dropped it. That ball was on the ground. It actually might have been a backward pass. Oh, it's incomplete, and that's fortunate for Texas Tech, for Mac Leftwich, who is very proud of this team's 3rd down ability and his 3rd down ability at Texas State before he got here. But he's got a task on 3rd and 12.
Yeah, and the reason they've been so great on 3rd downs is because they've been great on 1st down, getting into manageable 3rd and 3 to 5s.
I think the replay is going to stop this. Yeah, it looked very close.
It did.
Like this might actually be a backward pass and a running play, which would really hurt Texas Tech.
Yeah, so you're going to see, let this play roll, and it's Baron Morton makes this throw. He's at the 26, and it's going backwards. You can draw a line from where he throws that football and then where it lands.
Oh, that's really close.
That's really close, man. And because he threw it behind.
Yeah, they might be
Cameron
saved
Dickey.
by him reaching back, though, on the throw.
Correct.
And so they'll take a look at it, and we will see. Again, they need to have enough evidence to overturn the call of incomplete on the field. Mike Pereira is with us. Mike, what do you see here?
Yeah, you know, it feels like it might be a little bit forward, but then let's remember now the adage in the rule book is that in order to be forward must be clearly forward. Parallel is backwards. So as you kind of talked about it from the, you know, the release from the 22, is it just, it's so close to me. I like to see him leave it there, but I think it is
After
a
further
little bit
review,
forward.
the ruling an incomplete forward pass is upheld. It will be 3rd down.
So it's interesting. The standards work against each other there because, as Mike is saying, if it's even, it's a run. But the call on the field was that it was incomplete.
Correct.
And so you would need enough evidence to overturn that. So it would have to be so very clearly parallel to overturn. Mike, thank you for that. And they do get the fortune of 3rd and 12 that will go from the 19 instead of the 25-ish.
Yeah, Jason, I think you're also right. Him reaching back there may have saved him because it kind of looked like it was drifting a little bit forward.
Two tight ends again out in the pattern, and Morton is hit, and he is dragged down. Baron Morton sacked by Leroy Harris, who has been a menace on that defensive line. And Baron Morton is down and hurt. Oh, my goodness.
Oh.
Baron Morton is in substantial pain.
Whew. You're going to see Leroy Harris, the third, is going to come upfield and then whoop right back around into the gap. It's a trick that they do on the defensive line with those games to make the quarterback think he has a place to step up, and then he just gets caught up with Baron Morton's ankle here, right at the very end. Ooh, that right ankle, you saw it.
I mean, immediately you could see Baron Morton knew something was wrong, and he is livid.
Yeah, there's not a guy on this football team that loves football more than Baron Morton. And Joey McGuire told us he's the toughest guy he's ever been around.
Ever coached.
So if he has an opportunity to come back in this game, he's going to do it. And you hope for this young man that he can stay healthy, because when he's healthy, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
But remember, Will Hammond came in relief of Morton at Utah and was outstanding. So they do have options here as the field goal is good for Harrington. 21-0 Texas Tech, but the worry and the thought is with Baron Morton. Harrington gets him to 21-0 the long way.
Play number 2, Jacob Rodriguez's interception and hurdle versus Houston. All right, fans, it's time to vote. Who thinks it's play number 1? How about play number 2? Congratulations to play number 2 for being the highest student in total at Matador Moment.
Fox College football is sponsored by Ram Trucks. Nothing stops Ram. Texas Tech down, up 21-0. They are 5-0, but they are down. Baron Morton, we'll see for how long. He hurt his ankle on the final play. They ran from scrimmage on that last drive. The one thing about this, Robert, is he's only played all 4 quarters one time this year. That was against Houston because of the large leads they've had. So Baron Morton on the sideline for Texas Tech. We'll see how long he's there. Tomorrow on Fox, Dak and the Cowboys take on the Panthers. Matthew Stafford and the Rams battle the Ravens or other regional action. Check local listings for the game in your area tomorrow on Fox. It's a deep Texas Tech team. Morton is up and walking. You mentioned ankle injuries can linger some.
Yeah, ankle injuries linger because, you know, once that joint moves and you have that bruise, it takes 4 to 5 weeks after you're cleared to actually feel like you're normal again. This is coming from a guy who's had a couple rolled and sprained ankles before.
Depending on the severity, of course, we'll see what Morton does coming up on that next drive. If Will Hammond starts to get tuned up as Highshaw on the run. If you're Kansas, what do you need on this drive?
You first need to get your first down. Once you get that first down, and now you're starting to wear a little bit on the defense. This defense for Texas Tech is so fresh that every time they come out, they're playing at full speed. It's not till you get that first and first down on a drive that you can actually start to fatigue them. And as they say, fatigue makes cowards of us all. Kansas has to find a way to stay on the field and convert third downs as well.
They are down one defensive lineman with the injury earlier as that goes to the sideline, and Henderson tightroping for a first down. A.J. Holmes in for the injured Skylar Gill-Howard on that Texas Tech defensive line. A little tempo from Kansas here getting to the line quickly, or at least Henderson thought there was going to be.
Yeah, like we talked about, get that first down right there, whole shot versus cover 2. They're trying to roll coverage to his side. Nice job.
Highshaw tripped up. He wanted to go farther there. He saw daylight.
And this is, you know, Daniel Highshaw was their starting running back to start this season. And, you know, he is coming back off an injury. He understands that, you know, LeSean Williams has played well, but he wants to come back and reestablish himself and show that he can be the guy that they know him to be. And sometimes when you get those ankle tackles, it can really get on your nerves as a running back.
Second down, pick up for a moment. Daniels whistles it wide, and he's got a first down, depending on the marker, to Levi Wentz with his 11th grab of the year. There are 2 flags down on the play. Kansas is walking the wrong direction for the Jayhawks.
Ineligible receiver downfield, number 88, offense. Player was on the line and covered. 5-yard penalty, replay second down.
And if you're covered, there's that 3-yard window, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're talking about number 88 right here, Bowden Gruen, being covered up, being on the line of scrimmage. And you got to make sure that you're aligned properly there if you're Levi Wentz, the outside receiver, so that you can actually get those eligibles down the field. They rolled coverage to him again, cover 2 look, and Jalen Daniels is seeing those whole shot looks really, really well, but you got to make sure you're lined up correctly first.
So that's on the receiver.
Yes.
Second down, Daniels with time. That's over to the far side and caught to the 40 for Pickett. It's a gain of 14. It got deflected at the line, it looked like, and still ended up with him. That's as accurate of a pass you're going to see on a tipped ball.
Yeah, Jacob Rodriguez getting the tip, but that's why you got to make sure you continue to finish the play and track the ball for those Kansas pass catchers.
Highshaw runs into a bunch of black jerseys, including Rodriguez. That is the 6th tipped pass by Texas Tech this year in 6 games.
Yes, you're going to watch Rodriguez here. As he comes through, this guy always finds a way to get to the football. It doesn't matter where it's at, in the pass game, in the running game. He is all over the place. It's almost as if, what do they have, those air tags? You can put the air tag on and he finds it. Wherever the ball is, they got an air tag on it, and Jacob Rodriguez is the owner.
Now that's a nickname for 2025. Air tag. Second down and 9. Pickett in motion. Daniels sees the pressure coming. He'll climb the pocket, and Daniels is hit by Rodriguez and then bucked forward right around the line to gain. That was Cofield with the last hit.
And this is what I'm talking about. You're going to see them run a game and get this defensive line going every which way. Jalen Daniels stays patient. He makes a guy miss, and you just see the elusiveness there in the pocket. And when we talked to Lance Leipold, he said, great quarterbacks are erasers. Right? They can erase the mistakes of some of the guys around them. Right there, the offensive line made a mistake, but Jalen Daniels erased it and made him right.
His coach said to him, like, look, somebody's going to miss a block. Okay, now what? Daniels pulls it and throws it, and that's right on target for a first down for Canty down to the 10.
Oh, it's just so beautiful here with the motion. And watch this nice slant by the wide receiver, Canty. Good throw. They move everybody out of those zones with the motion, and then they replace them with the football. That is where the motion comes into effect. It allows you to displace the defense and open up holes, and that's one thing that Jalen Daniels is really good at. He sees it so well despite all of the eye candy going on around him.
He's watching the defense react to motion like this, yeah?
Exactly.
Henderson this time. They'll hit the back. Williams out of the backfield. Beautifully done. Touchdown, Kansas.
And again, we talk about the motion. Well, who was the motion man? It's Emmanuel Henderson Jr. He comes along this way, and then Highshaw is going to sneak out the back end because the entire defense has their eyes this way, and my bad, it's LeSean Williams that sneaks out the backside to make that touchdown catch. It doesn't get any more open than that, Jason. It doesn't get any easier, but this is what I said. Get that first down, stay on the field, allow your defense to rest. Now your offense is feeling a little bit better about themselves.
Very important response for Kansas there. Had to have it. 9 plays, 75 yards, and a touchdown. And Jalen Daniels, who they asked to be the traffic cop, but a very explosive traffic cop. He did it all on that drive. He put it right on the hands of Williams for the first Kansas score tonight.
Want to see this week's top 25? Just tell Siri. Show me the college football rankings.
10 out of 10 fashion here in Lubbock. They all are worried about Baron Morton, though, who got hit on the previous drive, wanted to come back into this ball game. Alexa, what do you have?
Shaking his head in disappointment. He just left with the trainer now down the tunnel. And number 0, Skylar Gill Howard, JB, he is back with a boot on his left foot, so I don't expect him to return.
Alexa, thank you. Can you repeat what you said about Baron Morton? We didn't catch the front end of that. Will you just repeat what you have on Baron Morton?
Yeah, he went up and down the sideline during that Kansas drive to see if he could put pressure on that right ankle. His teammates were checking in on him. He kept shaking his head in disappointment. He left now with the trainers. We'll see if he returns, but they got a lot of confidence in Will Hammond, who came in the Utah game, JB, and played very well.
Thank you, Alexa. Appreciate that. There is a marker down.
Against the home team for objects being thrown on the field.
Well, there's the first warning after the opening tortilla toss, right? So you get one more warning after the throwing of the tortillas. Then the next time, and we'll tell you about Hammond in a second, the next time the fans throw something on the field, it's going to be a 15-yard penalty. And so that's an issue for Joey McGuire. He was talking about that before the game, during his media message to the crowd, all that stuff.
Yeah, he loves the fact that they throw the tortillas early in the game. It's a tradition here. But after that, make the focus be on the field. And now you got Will Hammond in that quarterback, and we'll talk about him after the snap.
Jacoby Williams taken down behind the line by Bengali Kamara. It'll be second down, but Hammond, redshirt freshman, we mentioned it, great against Utah. What do we see?
Yeah, you're going to see a guy that has a little bit more dynamic dual threat ability to him. He can use his legs, but don't make a mistake. This guy could throw the football as he dirts one there. He can throw the football with the best of them. Had ice in his veins when he came into that Utah game. They are excited about him. Talking to offensive coordinator Mac Leftwich, they said the future is bright with this young man and what he brings to the table. They truly trust and believe that if something was to happen like it has so far tonight to Baron Morton, Will Hammond can still take them to where they want to go.
Perfect look at the signals there, because they say he is as prepared with the playbook as anybody on this roster. He's in there very early, and you hear that about a lot of guys, but they say he's almost robot-like in his preparation. Morton will throw, and that's behind Carter. So Texas Tech with a 3-and-out, and a hush falls over this stadium for the first time tonight.
Yeah, and what you saw there on his first two throws, one was low, one was behind. What does that mean? He didn't do a good enough job warming up on the sideline as he was getting ready to come into this game. Against Utah, he came in and he was firing on all cylinders there in the fourth quarter. If I'm him, I get back to the sideline, and this entire time, Coach, I don't even need to see the iPad. I knew I missed the throws. Yep. Let's get my juices flowing and warming up throwing this football.
Jack Burgess gets the punt away. Tate Nagy on the fair catch, and he is back at the 44 on.
Coming up on the State Farm Halftime, Indiana is officially a force to be reckoned with. John Mateer returns in time for the Red River rivalry, but would that be enough for Oklahoma? And Penn State adds insult to injury. Can it get worse for the Nittany? Rivalry, but would that be enough?
Texas Tech fans, please join us in welcoming Texas Overton Operation Get Back honoree, U.S. Army Specialist Cassandra Williams. Specialist Williams served 7 years during the global war on terror as part of the 101st Airborne Division at Fort Campbell and with the Intelligence and Security Command at Fort Sam Houston as a source operator in pieces of forces debriefing. Now Cassandra is a grad student at the Texas Tech School of Art and serves as the VP of Texas Tech Student Events of America. Along with Representative
Coming up on the State Farm Halftime, Indiana is officially a force to be reckoned with. John Mateer returns in time for the Red River Rivalry, but would that be enough for Oklahoma? And Penn State adds insult to injury. Can it get worse for the Nittany Lions? The answer is yes. Jason and RG3, see you guys at the half. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Oh, Mike's in a mood.
Oh, he looks like he's ready to drop some bars or some strong statements there at halftime.
Yeah, let's clean up something here. There was the penalty assessed on the kickoff, and it was for throwing the object. So there must have been a warning that got issued after the first one on the kickoff. So that's what the penalty was for, to back up Texas Tech. So that's why that drive started back behind, as Kubeka has that reception, and he is doused at the 48-yard line by John Curry from Lubbock Coronado High School, second down.
You know what's funny about that play right there, Jason, is that's the same play they ran on the first or second play of the drive that they scored a touchdown on. Why? It gets them rolling. It makes the defense have to run sideline to sideline. The first time it was second and 6. Looks like they're in just about the same type of situation here in 2nd and 6. So they're going back to the well to see if this Tech defense is going to change anything that they did from the last drive.
Second down, Daniels under siege. He throws it to the near side, and Gruen is dropped immediately by Dante Balfour.
I want you guys to watch this. As Jalen Daniels comes off this fake, watch how many Texas Tech defenders are closing in on him. You got David Bailey, you got Lee Hunter. He is throwing the football saying, hey, don't hit me. I don't got it anymore, guys. This rush, whether it's in straight drop back, whether it's in play action pass, this Texas Tech defense is swarming.
For 6 weeks now. Pickett in motion. Third down, whip it that way. It is dropped. It's Henderson, incomplete. Fourth down coming up.
This is when your best players have to make their best plays, and right there, Emmanuel Henderson Jr., flat out drop. You're going to see Bryce Pollock right here. Ball hits him in the hands. You got to make that catch. Jalen Daniels saying to himself, oh, we got one. Oh, we don't got one. And right there, I love the reaction, because he's acknowledging that he wanted the play to be made, but he's not overreacting to the mistake on the road from one of his best players. I'm more than sure he's on the sideline right now telling Emmanuel Henderson Jr., hey, man, I need you. I know you'll get it back.
You have to have that trust when you're trying to pull off an upset. Here is Coy Aiken on the fair catch to the 12-yard line. Tomorrow, the ALCS begins on Fox. Cal Raleigh and the Mariners trying to steal Game 1 in Toronto after that ridiculous Game 5 against the Tigers last night. Game 1 of the ALCS coverage begins tomorrow, 7 Eastern on Fox.
Jason, do you want to talk about that?
No, I don't want to talk about it. What a game, though, last night. I mean, it was crushing for Tiger fans. I know that. And the Mariners go to their first ALCS since 2001. Toronto's been a juggernaut. But thank you for asking. I wept myself to sleep last night.
I just
got to bounce back.
I know it means so much to you, and I felt for you. So
thank you. Yeah, I was planning to get like an extra 3 hours of sleep, and the game lasted 7 hours and 42 minutes to the wrong result. Here is Hammond hopping through and downstairs to Alexa.
Well, after that last drive, Texas Tech head coach Joey McGuire went up to every position group on the bench, and he said, guys, we need to finish drives. Will Hammond went up to his wide receivers and said, guys, that's on me. Let's see what they do on this drive, JB.
We got 3 on first down, and they're going to run it is what they're going to do. It's Dickey into the line at the 19. Taylor Davis with the stop. It's a gain of 2, 3rd and 5. So it was a quick 33-second 3 and out last time.
Yeah, and these linebackers, and right there, Taylor Davis plays safety, but right there he was playing more of a dime linebacker spot coming from depth, and they're reacting really fast. So that means if they play action, get over the middle of the field, there's going to be holes for days against this Kansas defense.
3rd and 5 for Hammond. He lets it rip right down the middle and squeezed it through to Cameron Dickey for a first down for Texas Tech. They had to have it.
Nice job here from Cameron Dickey getting out and running an angle route. That 70-yard touchdown he had last week against Houston, same exact play, and this time they moved the chains with it instead of scoring the touchdown.
Big gash here, gain of 9 that time. Lathan with the stop, but Cam Dickey as a marker is in, so we'll check the marker here.
Holding. Number 79, offense. 10-yard penalty Replay first down.
That's 2 on Sampson. A very heavily penalized team, Texas Tech.
Yeah, you're going to see Sampson, and he does a nice job trying to play this off, but he's right here. You see that arm right there on the outside, and as soon as that defender reaches, that's when they're going to throw that holding call. The shoulder pad is lifted up. You got to grab at the jersey. It's 2 on him, and they were both pretty obvious there, Jason.
In a big way. They came in with 20 false start or holding penalties this year, a huge number. This run for Jacoby Williams, they were tied for 126th in false start holding penalties combined, and you saw what that did to their whole penalty yardage.
Yeah, and you talk about those penalties, Jason, and look, they're second in the FBS in scoring. Imagine how much more efficient they could be on the offensive side of the ball if they didn't have those, as you said, guns pointed down and shooting themselves in the foot sometimes on some of these drives.
Yeah, it's been enough for Joey McGuire to say something about it. And that's why he mentioned the tortilla throwing during the game. He said, we can't afford it. We're already so heavily penalized. Hammond this way, incomplete. And contact from Lyric Rawls, who says he got there on time, among other things, and he's right.
Lyric Rawls has a right to go after the ball, and you're going to see it's a nice bench route here from Reggie Virgil. And right as they're going for it, he puts that arm around his shoulder. And is he there early? I think he's there early, but I think he's making a play on the ball with his eyes on the ball, and that's why the refs didn't throw it. But the fans, they don't love it.
Yeah, he didn't impede him early, you would say, right?
He didn't impede him early. He got to him a little early, but it was because he was trying to make that play on the ball, which is within his right.
Third down along. Hammond down the middle. It's a jump ball interception. Taylor Davis picks it off. A lot of air under it. And Davis read it perfectly.
I had mentioned before that the middle of the field would be open because of how fast that they were triggering. But right here, Taylor Davis is going to do a really nice job of eyes outside and then getting his eyes back inside, knowing that's where the defense is vulnerable, and attacking the football. The ball here just is you're throwing that into a defensive team meeting, trying to get it up and down. As soon as you feel that second level get back, Will Hammond, you got to progress down to your check down, young brother.
You see the dejection on his face, but Baron Morton's injury now has really impacted this game. Kansas has a short field to work with. The farthest they got in the first quarter was the 30. They're at the plus 49 now. Daniels climbing the pocket, and he gets crumpled down. There is a marker in. Hunter was in there first along with Holmes, and we'll see what the flag is.
Holding. Number 56, offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
It's on Amir Herring, the redshirt sophomore transfer from Michigan.
Yeah, you're going to see number 56, Amir Herring right here, lined up with Lee Hunter, who everyone on Texas Tech said is the craziest guy on the football team. And as soon as he does that swim move and you wrap your arms around him and tackle him, that's holding. And what they say sometimes, Jason, is if you can't block him, just hold him, you know?
Problem is, with the sack,
caught.
Right, they can decline the penalty, which they did. So it's 2nd and 15, so the sack counts. And we're going down to the 2-minute timeout.
And we know that this Kansas offense isn't one that operates greatly behind the chains. So now they're put in a situation where they have to drop back pass.
And those folks are loud. Fox College Football is sponsored by Wendy's. Get Wendy's $8 JBC meal deal, limited time only. Kansas last year, a team that looked like it wasn't going to go to a bowl game. They eventually did not, but they won 3 straight games against ranked teams in November. They beat Iowa State by 9, BYU in a game where Jalen Daniels ended up punting once, and then Colorado by 16. It was the first team in FBS history to do that. And look, with Baron Morton out, who knows? It's 21-7 and Kansas on the ball.
Yeah, last year's Kansas team was better than their record said they were. They had the talent to get it done. This team is entirely reliant on Jalen Daniels, and he's playing at a high level so far tonight.
They motion Williams here after Pickett and throw a middle screen for Pickett. Cam Pickett on the run, and he is down at the 39. Jordan with the stop. It's going to be a first down. He got by McCarty first.
You're going to see Bryce Foster, the center, and also their right guard, Kobe Baines. Watch as Cam Pickett goes out, and they get out in front of him, and all they got to do is get in the way. Just get in the way enough so he has enough space. They tricked the defense in thinking it was going far right, and then right back down the middle.
They're going to call that 3rd and 1. It looked like he had it. Now they definitely have it with Pickett. It'll be a first down for Kansas.
And this is one of their staple plays. Cam Pickett caught a touchdown on this play earlier in the season. They put him in the backfield. They run him on a nice flat route with an RPO action with Jalen Daniels. Get him into that flat, get it to him easy, let him go make a play. They feel like Cam Pickett is much healthier now and running better, and you see it there.
Oh, good night. David Bailey in a heartbeat. He graduated from Stanford in under 4 years, and he runs like this.
I want you guys to watch how beautiful this spin move is by David Bailey. Upfield, whoop! Hit him with a spin cycle, and then made Jalen Daniels do a spin himself, Jason.
Yeah, you did. We're back in 30 seconds. – 21-7 Texas Tech off their 4th sack. And if you need another play-by-play announcer, you know where to turn, Robert. That guy.
David Bailey. Wow. Very impressive young man. And right now the left tackle, Calvin Clements for Kansas, is really struggling to block these guys.
He holds up there. It is Pickett who is sent out of bounds by Jordan once again. So 3rd down and long coming up for Kansas. Remember, Texas Tech gets the ball after halftime.
Puts even more of an onus on Kansas if you have upset on your mind, right? They're probably thinking, let's just try to win this game. Then you got to find a way to get 7 here. This 3rd down is crucial. 3rd and 13. Again, I implore the quarterback, some points are better than no points. So if it's not there, don't force it down the field. It's better to go into the half 21-10 than it is 21-7 and potentially giving Tech an opportunity to go in up 28-7.
That said, the way Texas Tech scores points, you probably need a touchdown, but I get where you're coming from. It's 3rd down and 13 for Daniels. He'll lob it right down the middle. Touchdown, Gruen. Here come the Jayhawks with upset on their mind.
Now I want to take you into the mind of Jalen Daniels. He sees the 2 high safeties, and he knows that Gruen is going down the middle. He sees that. He takes his eyes out to the right, allows him to get there, and then drops it over the top of Jacob Rodriguez, the star linebacker for Texas Tech. Woo! 2 safeties, middle of the field is where you want to attack, and Jalen Daniels attacked it like that.
Pressure was coming from Pollock, the corner. Daniels with a beautiful ball right into the waiting arms of Gruen, his tight end, and the Kansas Jayhawks, who did it all November last year, are thinking again they might create some issues for a ranked team back in 30 seconds. So the interception comes back to roost. Texas Tech has given up 14 points tonight. They're not used to this.
Not at all. This defense has been shutting everybody down, not only in the first quarters, but really in the first half of games. And this is what we said in the keys earlier in the game, Jason. When you get in the red zone for Texas Tech on offense, you got to score touchdowns, not kick field goals. That would have blown this game open for them. But because they kicked those field goals, they'd allowed Kansas to somewhat survive the surge. And now they're surging here before the half and have made it a one-score game.
Which leads us to our game summary, sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. It was an early splash for Texas Tech. First play from scrimmage, they got a 71-yard touchdown run, but then Baron Morton's injury flipped this game in a heartbeat.
Yeah, it did. And when your starting quarterback goes down and you have belief in your backup like Texas Tech has in Will Hammond, you don't expect him to come out and have 3 bad throws and throw an interception that kind of tilts the way this game is going. But listen to this crowd now. They're not in the game. This house is packed. And because of some of the mistakes they've made, the crowd is no longer a factor.
They're going to throw it. Hammond to Carter. He's out right around the 30. So Kansas does have 2 timeouts. They could see the ball again. Texas Tech obviously has other thoughts.
Yeah, and then Will Hammond, you see there 1 for 5 for 9 yards and an interception. He just needs to take what the defense is giving him. Find completions, build a rhythm, use your legs, and protect the football so you guys can get back into the half with a lead.
He just went out of bounds, right? That's going to be a no gain. He goes out of bounds. Kansas keeps a timeout. If this is not a first down, that decision may be a problem.
Yeah, it is, and I think Will Hammond's his mindset there is we're trying to go score. He thinks he's going to get more yards with his legs than he did there. Now they're in 3rd and 7, and I agree with you. That's a colossal mistake if they don't convert this 3rd down.
And we'll see. 3-man front here for Kansas. Oh boy, it's a free play. Hammond takes the shot down the field. It's incomplete for Douglas. Wow, for Kansas, that is enormous.
Offside. Number 15, defense. 5-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
It's Justice Finkley.
You're going to see Justice Finkley at the top of the screen. This is some Aaron Rodgers level hard count there from Will Hammond to get him offsides. And then when you have that free play, throwing it up to your big play receiver, Caleb Douglas. Doesn't come down with it, but you love the attempt. And maybe letting that ball air out a little bit for Will Hammond without it getting intercepted will make him feel a little bit more confident throwing the football.
This is really a 3rd and 2, and Dickey hits the spin cycle for a first down for Texas Tech. Boy, they had to have that.
So you know what you do, Jason? When you make a mistake and run out of bounds, you get a hard count to get an easy 3rd down. You get that conversion so it doesn't come back to bite you.
Get him right back. Don't want to worry about it. Hammond on the roll. He'll drop it off for Dickey, and that's going to lose half a yard. Chased out by Graham with the pressure coming from Kamara. It'll be 2nd down for Texas Tech. They were up 21-0. Looked like it might be a walkover.
2nd down, 10 to go.
Credit Kansas and Lance Leipold.
Yeah, just their ability to stay resilient, not give up on themselves, calm down, and claw back into this game has been impressive.
To the sideline, and Douglas is out of bounds again. Here's another 3rd down. We're still kind of in the middle of this, right? Texas Tech could drive it. Lance Leipold told Alexa Landisor, like, we just need to settle down. They have. They'd love to have the ball back here after this 3rd down.
And I think Texas Tech has an aggressive mindset here. Mac Leftwich is going into this saying, guys, we're not trying to play keep away. We're trying to go score. So we want to keep as much time as we can. That's why they're going out of bounds. And we'll see on this 3rd and 6 if that's a mistake in their line of thinking.
See the wide splits there down at the bottom of the screen with Aiken in motion. 3rd down and 6. Whose strategy will be right? Hammond fading away. Incomplete. Pressure came from Lathan to speed him up. It's 4th down, 39 seconds left.
Whew. Yeah, you're going to see Carter's going to run here and run an inside route going up against Lyric Rawls. And the crowd is booing because they feel like Rawls got there a little early and kind of held him and impeded him from making that play. But that's not how the refs saw it. And you can see just how fired up this Kansas team is now, knowing, hey, we've got this top 10 team in the country, and we've got the momentum on our side.
Spotlight on Lyric Rawls, y'all. There's a punt for Burgess. Nagy back to receive at the 17. He's got some room to the outside. Nagy all the way across the 30. 2 timeouts for Kansas. 28 seconds to go in the first half. And Texas Tech playing shorthanded right now.
Yeah, you talk about their big defensive tackle, Skylar Gill-Howard, going out in the game early, and then, of course, the massive loss of Baron Morton, their quarterback, to what appeared to be an ankle injury. We'll see if he's able to come back in the second half, but he was visibly upset because they understand the type of team they have and the momentum that they need, and they wanted to blow this game out. Now they found themselves in a dogfight, and you're right, Jason. 28 seconds left. Kansas has the football with two timeouts left. They could easily go in and get some more points before the half to make this even closer.
The Longford Marjan, their kicker this year, is 47. They feel like maybe 52 they can get to. This is a run. It's Highshaw. He's got the first down into Texas Tech territory. The clock will stop as they move the chains. We'll see if Kansas uses that timeout, and it looks like they will. There's one remaining. 22 seconds. That was a 6-second play to get 17.
And I just love this outside zone from the offensive line, and the back is going to get it and then hit that cutback, that patented cutback we used to see from the Denver Broncos and guys like Terrell Davis. Highshaw understands that. You read it one hat at a time. You allow the cutback to happen naturally. And that's a massive run as they close in on field goal range for their kicker.
They do. And by the way, they're still within range of a touchdown. You get one long intermediate to long pass play, who knows?
And they have opportunities to take shots at the end zone, as we've talked about. So for Kansas, this is the best case situation for how this game started to where they are right here before the half. This is exactly what you want to be as the road team, knowing that momentum is on your side. Let's see if this defense can get this crowd back into it to impact this offense.
Just 3 incompletions all day for Daniels. He throws it for the tight end, Gruen, who's stacked up. He tries to get out of bounds. He's down at the 45. That's an interesting choice. They're going to use their final timeout. 7 seconds plus your last timeout is not exactly the package you're looking for there. We'll see if Kansas can drive it when we're back in 30 seconds.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't love that.
You know, quarterback can only look at what the defense gives him, right? But the Daniels decision plus the play call, how would you break down what they got there and what he saw?
I just didn't love the play call. If you're going to throw that one to Gruen, at least have him run an out route. There was no defender out there. Get him close to the sideline so you don't have to burn that timeout. Now you're in a situation where you got to throw the ball beyond the sticks because the first down will stop the clock, but then you're right back on the football. And I just would have liked to preserve that timeout and have that play call go a little bit better if I was Kansas.
They're left with a 2nd and 6 with 12 seconds now. They'll dump it off again, and Gruen is out of bounds, but that's a couple yards for way too many seconds. Now it's 3rd down, and a promising drive has stalled.
Yeah, as we talked about, why not run that play on 2nd down, right? And on 1st down and give you an opportunity to get out of bounds to stop the clock. Now they're in a situation where if you throw this ball down the middle of the field, you could potentially lose out an opportunity to gain points. So they're still a few yards away from field goal range for their kicker. And if I'm Jalen Daniels, I'm being smart with the football here and making sure that if I throw this thing down the field, it's a sizable gain that's worth it.
3rd down, clock moving. He does have the first down for Gruen. He's going to be out of bounds at the 37. It would be a 54-yard field goal at this point. It's right around the range where you feel like you have a shot.
I feel like they've been listening to us up here, Jason. There 2 times in a row, they run the sideline out of bounds play to get the tight end the football and stop the clock. I just don't understand why they didn't do that on 1st down so that they wouldn't have to waste that timeout and now have to attempt a 55-yard field goal.
He's a transfer from ECU by way of South Alabama, Laith Marjan, and we get a timeout from Texas Tech to ice him, a kicker who has not missed this year. Regardless, barring, 6 years ago blocked kick recovery shenanigan festival here, regardless, Kansas is going to be down one score, and that is a massive trophy for Lance Leipold and company after the way this thing started.
Yeah, it is, and we talked about this in the open. What was Kansas's recipe to potentially being in this game? One, it was obviously making it a game into the fourth quarter, getting out of the first half and it not being 35-0. They've accomplished that, and Jalen Daniels had to be special. He's been special today. 18 of 21, 2 touchdowns. He's been elusive in the pocket, and he's never panicked. He's been what his team has needed him to be in each and every moment, even when they've had some drops.
Look, as you're talking, right? He just went and high-fived a guy, fist bumped a guy. Like he's the absolute leader on this team, and he's played like it tonight and all season, frankly. Second attempt from 50-plus for Marjan in his career in all of his stops. From 55 for Kansas. It is on the way, and it is good! He drilled it! Wow! Every moment, whenever he can. In a big game like this,
he understands what's at stake, and he's also their starting quarterback. So there's a reason that he wants to be out there on the football field. It's because he gives them the best chance to win.
Yeah, so the question is, Robert, how do you do it without him?
Yeah, now you have to shift the game plan. When Mac Leftwich went into the locker room, the offensive coordinator for Texas Tech, he understands that now I have to get quarterback run in the game plan because that is what makes Will Hammond comfortable. You saw that against Utah when he came in the football game. They ran a lot of quarterback power, quarterback counter to get him downhill, and then he was able to, boom, hit those throws across the middle when the linebacker stepped up to stop the run. So I think a complete shift in the game plan for Texas Tech is what's in order because you have to run the game plan that's best with a quarterback that's in.
Turn to the run game as well. Jacoby Williams, their opening play from scrimmage was a 71-yard touchdown run for Cam Dickey. They're Lathan the tackle on Williams. But Texas Tech in this run offense has been pretty good. They're top 30 in college football. So they'll go there again. It's Williams one more time, and Kansas stacks him up. It's a gain of 1. Keenan Caldwell, the longtime Jayhawk, makes it 3rd and 5. Texas Tech had a bunch of quick 3-and-outs as well late in that first half, and the well-painted folks are rather grim right now.
Yeah, you can feel it. The energy in the stadium isn't there right now. Baron Morton is the leader of this football team. He is their starting quarterback, but they have to find a way to allow Will Hammond to make a play that is going to give this offense energy.
Kansas showing pressure from the far side. Good job to pick that up, and Douglas has a first down. Howard Sampson, a big block to set up a gain of 13.
The very simple, Caleb Douglas is going to inside release, push vertical, and run an out route. Avoids the defender there and sits down right in the zone. That is one thing that these receivers do a great job of. They want to be vertical threats, but they're also reading coverage really well.
Off the tempo, Lyric Rawls again, a vicious stick, and he's feeling it right now.
Yeah, and I think Lyric Rawls has been playing his tail off tonight, Jason. But when you look at Will Hammond and how he started this, he needs to settle in. So, yes, you want to be aggressive as an offensive coordinator, and that's what Mac Leftwich is known for. But sometimes you got to just take the little bitty pieces here and there to allow your quarterback to settle into the game.
Quick set. It's Douglas one more time. So I know you weren't in the locker room, but I do wonder what that 20 minutes between halves can do for Will Hammond.
Yeah. As a quarterback, sometimes it's like going to the free throw line in basketball and you missed a couple threes, and they say, you know what you need to do? You need to dribble drive, get to the basket, get a foul so you can get to the free throw line and just feel and see the ball go through the rim. That's what I think Mac Leftwich did at halftime. He said, hey, Will, we know you're a baller. I'm going to settle you in with the play calls.
On 3rd and 1, they didn't have the first down, so Kamara comes crashing in. What a read from Kamara here.
Bengali Kamara is right here coming off the edge. He's going to late add. No one is really expecting him to be there that fast. The tight end on the backside, John Carlos Miller II, doesn't get over there fast enough, and just like that, Texas Tech is off the field.
Wow, it looked like Douglas had a chance of getting that first down. On 2nd down, he ended up out of bounds short, and so Kamara with a huge play, and Kansas should get it back. Burgess on the punt for Texas Tech, and a stunned Lubbock. All morning and afternoon, unbeaten's lost in college football, and there's another one reeling out of nowhere tonight. Fox College Football is sponsored by Discover. It pays to discover. Kansas, 17 unanswered behind Jalen Daniels, their star senior quarterback. And, well, that's a disappointed half shirtless, full shirtless, varying degrees of shirtless fan base tonight here in Lubbock. Baron Morton on the sideline. Can't do anything about it. And you know it's eating him up. But you get Jalen Daniels, who's seen 40 starts worth of college football, coming in, just looking to the sky, taking it all in. He knows how to handle spots like this.
Yes, he does. He started 1 for 3. He's been 17 of 18 since.
He'll run it this time behind Williams. A good block from his tailback and a first down for 11. Alexa talked to his head coach, Lance Leipold.
Yeah, well, JB, you asked Robert, what were those 20 minutes like for Hammond in the locker room? That's exactly what I asked Coach Leipold. What was your locker room like after that flip of the tide there to go into the half? He said, I got a pretty excited group of guys. You got to stay aggressive, play fast, keep that run game going. Also, Jalen Daniels firing up his group in the tunnel. This team means a lot to him, JB.
Alexa live from the middle of 500 cowbells. Are you okay down there? That was loud.
I'm dodging tortillas.
First down for Kansas from the 20. Daniels snaps it off near side. Gruen. It's a gain of 5. And Jalen Daniels, his first year, before Lance Leipold even got here, they didn't win a game. They were winless. Their only close loss was here in Lubbock. They lost 16-13. It was blowout city. Took a bunch of hits, and he stayed. And he gets injured, and he stays, and he stays, and he stays for games like this for the Kansas Jayhawks as Gruen has that catch close to the line of game.
Yeah, there's not a quarterback in the country that's been more loyal to their team than Jalen Daniels has been. There's probably been a number of teams that called in the offseason for the past few years, and he said, this is where I want to be. This is the team that I believe in. And you know when he's gone from Kansas, he's going to have a place to go back to that he knows that he can call home. And that has been a concern with the transfer portal in college football today. But Kansas knows that they have their guy in Jalen Daniels.
And you mean that literally. He bought a house this past year in Lawrence, Kansas. On 3rd down and 1, and a little hesitation, and Williams is swallowed up. Oh my, Texas Tech gets in there with 3 black shirts, and it'll be 4th down. A.J. Holmes was in on it.
And you're going to watch the linebackers for Texas Tech fill the gaps. Watch how quickly they fire as soon as they see this ball handed off. They understand that they needed to win the line of scrimmage and get that tackle for loss to force this punt. Sometimes when you play complementary football, it's all about the defense picking up the offense when they're not going. Right there, that's exactly what Texas Tech defense did.
You started the night talking about that defense for Texas Tech. We hear a lot about the offense. It's their 6th tackle for loss this evening.
Yeah, they're playing at a high level. Their offense has left them out to dry a little bit at the end of the first half, but now they're trying to pick them back up.
Lappin on the punt. Aiken takes it in. The rodeo star as a kid, Coy Aiken. Cowboy Coy sets him up from the 36-yard line. Can Texas Tech lasso a victory under siege from Kansas? We'll find out next. Time for RG3's unbeaten tote board.
Yeah.
Robert, take it away.
Let's go. Who's not undefeated anymore? Let's talk about whoop, whoop. Oregon lost to Indiana. Look at Mizzou lost to Alabama. Oklahoma lost the Red River rivalry to Texas, and North Texas got schwam-bobbled by South Florida.
They got
last night. Schwam-bobbled.
Uh-oh.
It is a battle to stay undefeated in college football. It is not easy, baby, and Texas Tech is trying to stay there as well.
Yeah, they're trying to stay at the right side of that line, or that double cross to the schwam-bobble. Dickey on first down. UNLV, Navy, Indiana, Ohio State, and Georgia Tech have one. BYU and Texas A&M are in progress, and Texas Tech's just trying to get a couple of first downs here.
Yeah, like I said, I think they need to really lean into the quarterback run, allow Will Hammond to go out there and do what he does best.
Or Quadzilla 2, Dickey down the sideline. First down, Red Raiders.
Oh my goodness, I love it when the big fellas get out there and start moving. I want you to watch the left tackle, Howard Sampson, and Will Jados get out in front and get Dickey out to the edge untouched. He doesn't even have a defender touch him until he's about 20 yards down the field. That's what you love if you're a running back. Open space, and the big uglies up front are making it happen.
And fortunately for Kansas, Robert, Texas Tech substituted so they could get a couple new defensive linemen in, and Kamara is right there again. Bengali Kamara was gone for the first half last week against UCF, and we saw what they are without him.
And it's just where he's coming from. He's on the outside. He's going to get an inside move here to run the game with the defensive tackle, get to the quarterback and get him down to the ground. That's the hardest thing for a quarterback to see, is when you don't know that that defensive end is looping back around on the inside, and Bengali Kamara has been all over the field tonight.
You see what they got from him in the second half last week, a young man who didn't start playing football until high school.
Doesn't look like it.
Kamara couldn't get him that time. Hammond turns on the Jets, and maybe a confidence builder. See how quickly he pops up there? The best play tonight for Hammond, gain of 14.
And I told you, this zone read action, the defensive end is going to come down. He's going to get out to the outside, allow him to use his legs. That is part of what makes him dynamic as a dual threat quarterback and makes him settle in, feel like he's a part of the game. Will Hammond right there, use that speed. He's not sneaky athletic, people. He's just athletic.
He feels like the man right now. He got a block from Carter, and he's in. Touchdown! You could see it when he popped off the turf last play.
And you're going to see how it all happened. They bring Terrence Carter around to block. He reads the defensive end. The defensive end doesn't know who has the ball because of the great ballsmanship from Will Hammond, and he hits that seam like his life depends on it, putting his team up 27-17. They make the extra point. They feel a little bit better about themselves and have the momentum back on their side.
But you know, Robert, playing the position, him feeling better about himself is paramount here.
100%. Back
Attention all fans, must seize the to the field. They continue throwing of objects
Baron Morton greeting Will Hammond on the sideline, and Morton's reaction stands out, but watch Hammond's reaction right here. You see that whole tension-filled first half coming out of his lungs.
That deep breath is like, all right, we're in this, we're playing. You know, he's never expecting what happened to him at the end of the first half to happen because of how he played against Utah. But every game is a new game. And as a coach, your offensive coordinator, Mac Leftwich, you have to understand what it takes in that game to get your guy going. And it was the quarterback run, and we saw it right there.
Crowd's back in it. Maybe too much, though, because during the break, they just made an announcement here in the stadium that if the fans continue to throw objects on the field, there's going to be another penalty. And frankly, that is lenient by the officiating crew, because by the letter of the law, it should be another penalty against Texas Tech. They're supposed to get the one warning at kickoff. That's allowed because it's tradition, throwing the tortillas. Number 2 should not be a penalty. Number 3 and thereafter, by the letter of the law, is a penalty. And there's a tortilla flying on the kickoff once again. It's really hard to stop thousands upon thousands of people from doing it. A reliable performer sponsored by AT&T Business, reliability you can count on.
And it's all been about Jalen Daniels and the use of motion to distract the defense. Get their eyes with the eye candy and then hit them with the dagger over the top. You saw it on the first touchdown to Le'Shawn Williams, and there on the second one to Bowden Gruen. Jalen Daniels has been in his bag like the fries are at the bottom the entire day. 20 for 23, 185 yards and 2 touchdowns. I've been really impressed because he's making the easy plays, but he's also making the special ones as well.
Daniels with a pump. He's going to roll to his right, and he is going to break free. He lost the ball. He crawls for it and picks it up at the 10-yard line.
Well, we said he's making the easy plays, but right here, David Bailey does a nice job wrapping him up, and that ball being in one hand. That's why we always say as a quarterback, keep 2 hands on the football when you're maneuvering around the pocket. Sometimes we get so confident and so willy-nilly with it that we can cause fumbles on our own. Good job of Jalen getting on it, but you certainly don't want to be stuck in 2nd and 25s on a routine basis.
They have one extra coach who's calling a 12-man blitz. Just what they need, another penalty. 2nd down and 25. It's a handoff. It is Highshaw, and he's swallowed up after a gain of 2. And you see the fist pump from O'Feely along with that linebacking core. Texas Tech a little bit thinner because of the injury to Skylar Gill-Howard, who came in with a couple of tackles for loss, but they are very deep at the edge.
Yeah, very deep at the ends. You know, you can hear the energy in this building now is starting to rise after that Will Hammond touchdown run. This defense understands we've already given up 17. That's already 6 more points than they've been giving up throughout the year because they've only given up 11.2. So here on 3rd and 22, they just can't give up the unconventional broken tackle that's going to allow Kansas to convert.
Got to get to the 35. Daniels lets it rip this way for Gruen, who slips and falls, and Texas Tech, for the moment, will still not have allowed a 3rd quarter point all season.
And, you know, that's a massive compliment to defensive coordinator Shill Wood, because coming out of halftime, you know the adjustments that you want to make. You know what the offense is trying to do to you, and he's been a master of making those in-game adjustments to shut offenses down. And so far, you've seen it here in the second half as well.
Everywhere he's been, Shill Wood, the defense has gotten better immediately. It's a punt for Lappin. Aiken waves for it and makes the catch. Fox College Football is sponsored by Allstate. You're in good hands. 100 years of Texas Tech football. They were the Matadors back in the day. They became the Red Raiders 11 years after this, as the story goes. That season they're celebrating with the uniforms tonight, 1925. First two games were a tie. Michael Crabtree didn't have many ties here. He was just catching and running for season after season.
That guy used to be a nightmare for defensive backs. Had a chance to be teammates with him in Baltimore for the Baltimore Ravens, but watched him terrorize our DBs at Baylor for years.
There's Dickey hit by Lyric Rawls. You know, we were talking to Lincoln Riley about Michael Crabtree a couple of weeks ago when we had USC and the yards after the catch. He said, look, there was nobody with better spatial awareness. Catch the ball, he knew what was around.
Yeah, his ability to know where the nearest defender was and remember that after he caught it was second to none. Michael Crabtree, they used to have little crabs in the stands that they sold. Well, she probably would have made a lot of NIL money off of that, but that's another story for another time. But Crabtree, one of the greatest players in Texas Tech history. Good to see those guys come back here for homecoming.
Yeah, there is a lot of energy around this program as Hammond missed Virgil there. It's a 3rd and 6. All of the forward marching from this offense was Hammond's ground and pound at the end of that drive. We'll see what their call is 3rd and 6 here. Kansas rushes 3, and Hammond down the middle, batted away by Kamara in coverage that time. Man, what a game he's having.
Listen, Bengali Kamara is a linebacker, and he's out here playing on the outside on number 7, Terrence Carter Jr., who is a mismatch for everybody. And you can see Hammond, that big relief that he gave after the touchdown run, he's like, man, I still haven't quite figured it out in the passing game just quite yet.
Will he have to? We will find out. Nagy back to receive to the sideline, and he's out of bounds. He catches it, actually. So Kansas inside the 20. And we invite you to start your Saturday strong with Big Noon. Explosive duo Bryce Underwood and Justice Haynes lead Michigan against Washington at the Big House. How about Jonah Coleman last night for the Washington Huskies? Starts at 10 a.m. Eastern with Big Noon kickoff in Washington, Michigan, only on Fox. The rushing touchdown leader in college football as of last night, Jonah Coleman.
Yeah, quietly, if you're not watching those late night games, the Washington Huskies are playing their tails off, and they're always a tough out.
Kansas has done most of this without a run game. 26 yards on the ground. It's Daniels to throw, and he's got it complete for Pickett, who is dragged down nicely. What a tackle by McCarty, who looked like he was going to get shaken.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to pull them down by the shirt. You see this ball low and away to Pickett, and McCarty just said, hey, man, you not going nowhere. Come to me now. Get over here.
Was that 3 references in one?
I think that was Mortal Kombat.
That is a trifecta.
Scorpion just came out of me there, you know.
Finish him. 2nd and 7 for Kansas. Bruin, the tight end, detaches from the formation, trips up top for Daniels. 2nd down, they block height for the moment to allow Daniels to get it away for Pickett to the 50-yard line. It's a 1st down for Kansas, gain of 26.
Oh, they just do a really nice job of isolating right here. Ben Roberts, the linebacker, on Cam Pickett. Hey, get him to come to you, then boom, jerk route right back inside and finish vertical. Nice call right there to find the perfect matchup.
Daniels peels away, and he gets by Roberts this time and then slides. It looks like he should have the 1st down. He did cross the line to gain. It's 11. Do you see on that replay the great job by Herring, though, to clear Daniels to throw that previous pass? Now the legs.
Yeah, you just talk about the opening of the C's, the middle of the defense. They have to maintain their rush lanes if you're Texas Tech, because now Jalen Daniels is in such a rhythm. Only 3 completions on the entire day. He's making plays with both his arm and his legs.
That opens it up for Highshaw. Strong run for Daniel Highshaw. It's a gain of about 9. 2nd down and 1, and now Kansas is two-dimensional again.
Yeah, and Highshaw right there again, outside zone. They cut the defense with the center being able to get up to the 2nd level. Highshaw makes that cutback, And if you're Kansas, you have to feel good about what you're doing. Your quarterback is playing at a high level. Your running game is starting to get going just a little bit. And you're keeping this Texas Tech defense, which I believe is the best in the country, on the field for extended periods of time.
See the motion that time from Henderson. He's part of the bunch at the bottom, and Daniels looks that direction. He lets it ride, and it's tipped and incomplete for a million. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
Daniels pass incomplete.
Roberts was coming in on him and bearing down hard.
Yeah, and that was Ben Roberts who was bearing down on him, who ends up tipping the ball. We always say if you can't quite get to the quarterback, get your hands up. Play volleyball a little bit. You know, these guys love going to the volleyball games during the season in the fall to watch the ladies, the Texas Tech Red Raiders, go out there and make plays. So he's learning some things from those volleyball players, getting his hands up and knocking it down.
Daniels went up to the line. Now a play action. He's down. Jacob Rodriguez read it perfectly. Oh, man, what a gutsy call that Kansas eats.
And Jacob Rodriguez is right here on the edge. He's going to fire up the field as soon as the ball is snapped. They always say, hey, play your gap, but sometimes you got to go for the glory. And right there, Jacob Rodriguez did exactly that.
Why aren't you running that ball?
You should be. You should be.
It's too much, right? It's too much.
Sometimes, as coaches, we can get a little too cute. And now that puts you in a situation here, 4th and 10. Going for it, and this crowd is loud.
And there's Daniels punting again. We mentioned that he did it against BYU last year. This one ends up in the end zone. His punt against BYU last season actually set up their win in Provo. This one ends up
a little quick kick, you know, but going into the end zone for the touchback isn't obviously what you want to go for. You almost would be better off going for it there if you can't get that thing coffin cornered out to the side.
You know, you're talking about Rodriguez as a quarterback, though. I want to double back to that 3rd down play because that might work. You know, we say it's too much. It might work if you're not dealing with that young man, Rodriguez, on the other side.
Correct, and I said this earlier in the game. Rodriguez has a little bit of Ed Reed in him. He understands the situation. Hey, it's 3rd and 1. Me climbing down isn't going to help stop this run. I'm going to attack the quarterback's upfield shoulder and try to go for the glory play because I know that the rest of these gaps are taken care of. Just a really heady play right there from Jacob Rodriguez.
This play will not continue. That is a false start. And, oh, boy, a conversation between Rawls and Dickey. This is not what a snap should look like for those of you watching your first football game.
5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Dickey and Rawls looked like they were at a fight weigh-in.
Yeah, Dickey's like, hey, man, get off me. Rawls like, nah, you coming over here to me, son. That's right. I mean, Lyric Rawls has been on one all game. He is playing at a different energy level than anyone else on the field.
He's back at his safety spot there. Carter in motion. There's that pony backfield again. Miller back there, and they'll give it to Dickey. And he trudges forward and drives the legs for a nice solid gain across the 20-yard line. He'll end up with 8.
Yeah, they love this double tight end set where they're using John Carlos Miller II and Terrence Carter Jr. to kind of lead block for Cameron Dickey down the middle of the field, getting those double teams and just leaning on this Kansas defensive line. That is one thing that Texas Tech does well. They are great people movers, and they're leaning on that right now with their backup quarterback in the game.
Dickey again on the run, and this is one other thing, Robert. This is Mac Leftwich, the offensive coordinator for Texas Tech, knowing exactly what his quarterback needs right now.
Yeah, and listen, guys, sometimes you say it's an easy completion to the flat, it's an RPO. Sometimes it's just giving the football to your stud running backs, Cameron Dickey and Jacoby Williams.
There's Dickey, and that's an easy yard. Plus, Dickey and Rawls meet again. And we'll see what the end of that play. Everybody to their corners. By CompuBox after 3, it's Texas Tech 28, Kansas 17.
At the end of the 3rd quarter, our score, Texas Tech 28.
Hammond, that quarterback, his head coach just said they like to rally around. Hammond is under pressure, and he grounds it right in front of his intended target. Carter Lyric Rawls was in there again.
Jason, we've been talking about it. Lyric Rawls coming off the edge. This guy is playing at a different level. He's hiding a little bit, gets inside on the C gap, so quickly gets there that the quarterback can't even throw a screen. That's when you talk about a guy playing at a different speed than everyone else. I don't know if anyone's wanted it more than Lyric Rawls tonight. He is all about that action, boss.
First-year guy, too. Transfer from Oklahoma State, spent a lot of time with Mike Gundy. Yeah, they get it right back to Hammond on the ground, and it's the right choice. He pirouettes out of bounds. That's been their best play with him at quarterback. It got him a touchdown earlier. This is 15.
I'm telling you, they bring in this guard, Jados, on. They're ringing him around and bringing the tight end around as well as a lead blocker for Hammond on this counter play, and this is what gets him going. And sometimes you just got to go with what's working, man. If they can't stop the fadeaway, keep shooting the fadeaway. They cannot stop Will Hammond using his legs in the run game. Keep going to it. It's giving him confidence, and it's helping this offense move the ball.
I think Joey McGuire gave a clue to Alexa in her interview, by the way. It was good work by Alexa. He said, we're running the ball well, like do it more. Like Dickey on the gas pedal in. Touchdown, Red Raiders. From 71 on the first play, 55 here.
Good golly, oh Molly. They're going to bring the backside tackle, Jacob Ponton, around, wash everyone else down, and then Cameron Dickey's doing what, Jason? He's getting Dickey with it. Gets right down the middle of the field once again. Talking about a guy that doesn't hit a lot of home run plays, not really known for that. He sure is hitting a lot of grand slams tonight.
His longest run of the year was 24 in the first 5 weeks. Now he's become Jack Power. You can't stop Cam Dickey for getting a long of 24. See ya through the smoke. Fox College Football is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. Cam Dickey, when he was in high school, Crockett High in Austin hadn't had a winning season in 15 years. He was the quarterback. His brother was a defensive end. They got the first victory in the postseason for 26 years for that school. Wow. His senior year. He's got something about him that is winning stuff. And he's got his first 100-yard game tonight, and he's over 200.
Touchback on the kickoff.
That's crazy.
This has been like a basketball fast break game. It's a game of runs. 21 straight, 17 straight, 14 straight. Now what?
Yeah, I mean, I just go back to what we talked about at the beginning of the game with being an up-tempo offense and having a dominant defense. Yeah, the defense has surrendered some points tonight, 17, but offensively for Texas Tech, the difference between this air raid system and what you saw with the Mike Leach style offenses is that they can line up and mash you if they have to. And that's exactly what Texas Tech is doing right now. Cameron Dickey, 215 yards, career high. They are leaning on the running game. And I think people are a little shocked by that.
I believe instant replay has stopped this game for a moment. We're trying to get word from the replay center what they're taking a look at. For now, it'll be first down. It's 35-17. Let's listen.
Texas Tech is being penalized half the distance to the goal line. They're throwing objects onto the field.
Yeah, that, you know what? We didn't see a marker, but that, again, that's the second penalty for throwing objects on the field. And I will tell you, before we came on the air, it was exactly 1 hour before kickoff, 5:30 Central Time. There was a video that played on the enormous video board as we see it on the left side of the stadium. It's a 15-yard penalty, but there was a video. Joey McGuire and Jacob Rodriguez were imploring fans not to throw stuff. They said you can't wad them up, you can't put anything in them, you can't throw them. There was a whole video. The problem is, it was loud in here. They got other things on their mind. They might have had like a beverage at some point. There's a lot going on. It's tough to wrangle. And Joey McGuire, our crew happened to be here last year during the Colorado game when he got on the microphone. He said he's not doing that again for a number of reasons. But this can't happen. Think about this, Robert. Later in the year, what if they're unbeaten and there's a college football playoff berth on the line and they're getting 15-yard penalties here and there for tortilla throwing?
Yeah, in that situation, now the crowd is actually hurting the team that they're rooting for. And we've seen some tortillas fly around Texas Tech's bench, but I think they're really calling this penalty because the tortillas or whatever objects are being thrown on the field are being thrown at the opposing team's bench.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And that is, you just have to have more sportsmanship. No matter how many alcoholic beverages you have in your body, you got to be able to have discernment.
Or how much good, clean fun you're having either. Daniels on the roll with an extra 15 yards behind him. He'll throw it down the field, and it's knocked away. Incomplete. Wisniewski went up for it to knock it free from Quebeca, and it's second down.
Yeah, Jalen Daniels just missed this throw by about 5 yards. If he makes it a little bit deeper, they've got an opportunity to score. But you see Wisniewski go up and make the play on this ball to knock it down right at the last second. That's what you call being the high safety. Nothing gets deeper than you, and if it does, you got to make a play, and that's what he did.
You could argue, if you're a Kansas fan, that Amir Boyd got there earlier than he should have and created some contact. There was no flag. It is second down for Daniels. And he'll throw it high, incomplete. Bruin on a misfire. That's just the sixth incompletion for Jalen Daniels tonight. You wonder if all of the work he's done and all the hits he's taking are piling up.
Yeah, and right there, you know why he threw that one high?
Why?
Because he's got David Bailey and Lee Hunter barreling down on him once again, not able to truly step into that throw, and then took a massive hit from both of them after it. This offensive line has to bite down on their mouthpieces and protect their quarterback. He's the only chance they have in this game. He has been playing at a high level, but he can't do it alone.
Hunter and Holmes in the middle, Height and Bailey on the outside, and we'll get a timeout. Kansas has really struggled on third down this year. They're 5 for 12 for the game.
Music was played right up until the quarterback was under snap. Resetting the ball will be third down.
I will tell you, that's probably not going to get the fans to throw less stuff. Like, that's the type of thing, truly, I don't know that we need that announcement, right? Somebody can radio upstairs. If your job is to keep control of the environment, I don't know that we need that announcement. Am I wrong there?
You're not wrong. I agree with you 100%.
Now they're real lathered up. Daniels. Pressure coming. It is incomplete. And there's a marker in. Oh, boy. Bryce Pollock, the safety against Levi Wentz. That ball was pretty high, Robert.
Holding, number 14, defense. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Holding is a different foul, and that negates the high throw.
So right here, you're going to see the hold as Levi Wentz is coming out of the break. He grabs that shoulder pad and prevents him from running out. So yes, the ball is uncatchable, but that's why it's not pass interference.
Exactly.
And they call defensive holding.
And Daniels has seen enough football to know that that should be a foul. It was. 6 penalties for Texas Tech. Every flag pokes the bear of this crowd more and more. It's Highshaw slamming on the brakes and then darting inside to the 46.
When you talk about the crowd getting into it and all the flags really riling them up, these fans have a pretty high football IQ. They also understand, listen, it's 35-17 right now. This is a crucial drive. If the way that Kansas takes time to score, if they don't get points here, get 7 here, this game could very well be over.
Daniels, near side, got it to Henderson, and the ball's on the ground. It skates near the out-of-bounds line. To the sideline it goes. Let's see. It's picked up by Wisniewski. Texas Tech says they have it. It is Red Raider football. Daniels says Henderson was down. Jordan punched it free. The question is Henderson down before the ball comes out? Wisniewski wants to see a replay badly, and here it is.
Yeah, and you're going to see he makes the hit. He's got control. He goes down. Knee comes down. He's down by contact. That is not a fumble. So Kansas will still have the ball on offense. And that's the 3rd hole shot we've seen from Jalen Daniels, really letting that thing rip on these sideline hole shots over the cover 2 corner and in front of the safety. Elbow down, knee down, ball comes out. Ball cannot cause a fumble.
That is the right call. Once you're down, the play is over. The hand doesn't matter.
Under further review.
Yeah, they're going to review it. The replay booth and the replay center will stop play just to make sure. It's a big play. Don't mind that. But it looks like a pretty easy call.
Should be.
Here's the Big 12 Command Center watching over in Irving, Texas. You see all the looks that they have of all the games going on. BYU, Arizona was in a delay for a while. BYU had a lead at last check. Here it is again. Mike Pereira, what do you see here, Mike?
Well, there's 2 elements really they have to look at here, right? Number 1, if it is a catch. Clearly, the arm is down, the elbow's down, he is down. But the other part of it is he going to the ground as a part of making the catch? Does he have control, turn upfield? That's the 2 things that they would be looking at. So I think that's the question here. I first, when I saw it in real time, thought he didn't have it long enough and that the ball would come out when he hit the ground. I thought it might be incomplete, but that's their look at.
So, Mike, as they look at this, they're looking at this real time as well, yeah?
Always do. You look at it both ways, but you want to get that sense of what it looks like in real time. You know, it's a tough judgment call because really it's a subjective ruling. I mean, and that's what makes it difficult for replay, looking at it in a different speed. But those are the 2 things they're looking at.
Let me ask you, when there's a defender attached, right, you're talking about turning upfield, what are you judging? Well, we're going to get a call here first.
After further review, the receiver caught the ball and was down at the 27-yard line before losing possession of the ball. It will be Kansas's ball, first down at that spot.
It's a gain of 19. Just to finish this, Mike, you know, if he's got somebody with him, attached to him, how do you judge if he turned upfield and made a football move like this?
Yeah, it's just you have to kind of take that element out of it. And again, you know, it's just his movement. So you've got that 3-step process. You've got control, a body part, and then a turn. And they did feel that was enough.
Mike, thank you, as always. Off the gain of 19, Kansas from the 27 in Texas Tech territory. Daniels, a lot of time. He's going to run, and there's a hold coming. And Daniels is spun down by John Curry, but a Kansas penalty that they just could not afford.
Yeah, they're going to call that on Kobe Baines, number 70.
Holding. Number 70, offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Somebody from Texas Tech just said thank you, like finally.
Yeah, you're going to see Kobe Baines, number 70 right here. Boom, nice shot right there. And then at this point, they're going to call that holding every single time when the defender is trying to disengage and you tackle him down to the ground. There's a lot of warfare going on in those trenches tonight and every night, and these offensive linemen are getting put on the spot in the wrong way.
To set up a first down and 20, they'll go to the tight end, Bruin again, and he is smothered by Romello Height. He's just a nightmare to deal with. And look at the energy after 47 minutes of football.
Yeah, these guys, Romello Height, David Bailey, this defensive front seven, it's almost as if they take smelling salts before every single snap. That is how hard they are playing. They don't understand. It doesn't feel like they feel pain or see pain. But I do have to say one thing going back to that catch by Emmanuel Henderson Jr. Personally, if that's not a catch, I don't know what is.
It was. It was. Take a breath. We're good. We're good. I saw it in your eyes, though, as we were breaking it down. You were like, that got to be a catch. Here comes pressure again. Daniels throws it far side for Canty one more time. And he's got his third catch. It's a gain of 11. There is a marker in.
Holding. Number 77, offense.
Oh, boy. It's on Cruz.
Second down.
The right tackle transferred from Syracuse.
And guess who he was trying to block? He was trying to block Romello Height. Enrique Cruz Jr. said, oh, my goodness, this guy's fast. Put his arm around his neck. You can't do that. There's just, at some point, you got to let him go and look at your quarterback and say, run, look out. It's better than the hold because now you're in 2nd and 29. And you have a quarterback like Jaden Daniels. Yes, you want to protect him. You don't want him to get hit. But these penalties are starting to add up and affecting their comeback attempt.
They got to get all the way down to the 17 and a half. It's a long way, especially when these guys are coming for you. Bailey first, Holmes second, down he went.
Oh my goodness. Look at that smile on David Bailey's face. And we asked him this week, hey, what do you think about when you rush the passer? He says, get up the field. And you're going to see him get up the field. Then you're going to see Romello Height loop back inside. One gets him on the front. The other two get him on the side. Jalen Daniels is going to be really sore tomorrow. He's taking a lot of hits. And you can see how pumped up this defensive line is. They are earning the right to rush the passer. That's their 8th sack of the game.
Merciless. 7 straight games now for Bailey, dating back to last year with at least half a sack. And Kansas is just going to run this thing with Highshaw. And off the spin, he gets clobbered. He just got his clock cleaned. Rodriguez looked like Wisniewski as well. It'll be 4th down.
Jacob Rodriguez must have dynamite in his pads. Watch this. He's not even full speed. He's at a dead stop and the bow knocks his head back. Woo! Makes me want to go play some linebacker.
We saw the story by Tom Rinaldi, right? Big Noon a couple weeks ago about he and his wife and how tough they both are. She's flying choppers. He's hitting people on a football field. We saw him before the game just playing catch with fans. I mean, he is as likable of a guy as you'll see in college football. And in what has been an offensive game for so long in the Big 12, this Texas Tech defense could carry them to a conference title at least. Fox College football is sponsored by Ram Trucks. Nothing stops Ram. Texas Tech, a big lead here in the fourth quarter, trying to protect that. Make sure you take a listen to Robert's podcast, Out of Pocket with RG3, available YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. My question to you is, what's the dress code on the podcast?
Dress code? Yeah, you know, a lot of people taking their shirts off nowadays, so you can come. As long as you're wearing socks, you're good.
Face paint, shirtless. Is that okay?
That is okay.
Can we paint ourselves like the Joker for Batman?
I think that's a character that you could actually play pretty well. What do you think about that, Jason?
Gonna make this pencil disappear.
No, but seriously, appreciate that. And, you know, podcast is having a lot of fun. You fans at home checking us out. Me and my wife, 87-time All-American. We're just having a good time. So if you love football, you love sports, and you want to have fun talking about it, come join the huddle.
You have a great time on that podcast.
Yeah, we do.
It's not even work for you.
Not at all.
I know. There's a handoff for Dickey, and he finds door number 2 and switches back. That is a nasty, gross cut to the 35-yard line.
Ooh. Oh, my goodness. I just want y'all to watch. Lyric Rawls, we've been talking about number 2 for Kansas. Watch this cut by Cameron Dickey. Oh, my good God. He sent that man's ankles to layaway. Watch him break through, set him up, stop on a dime, get back vertical. Hey, Cameron Dickey this might be his coming out party.
Oh, big time. You don't hear much about layaway anymore.
You don't. I guess I just aged myself a little bit there, huh?
I love it. I love it. You look like you could still play, and you're aging yourself in layaway. Handoff for Dickey on a run to the 37. Second down coming up. You know, Kansas talked about withstanding the early rush from Texas Tech. Credit to the Red Raiders. They did the same thing when Kansas scored 17 into the locker room.
Yeah, they did. And you know, you have to give credit first to Kansas and Lance Leipold and defensive coordinator DK McDonald for Kansas of allowing their troops to kind of calm down, not panicking. But then when you look at it from Texas Tech, they've had so many injuries already, losing their starting quarterback, and to be able to find a way to get this thing back righteous has been impressive. That's what championship teams do.
And now Dickey trying to turn the corner on the outside. He's been running guard to guard quite a bit there. He's chopped down to set up a third down. Texas Tech is having like a generational rushing night tonight. Dickey's got 243, and they're over 340 as a group. We're still digging through the microfiche at the library and FaceTiming each other to make sure it's even further beyond 2,000. But we know for now, 25 years and counting.
Continuing to age myself. In 2000, I was 10 years old.
Y2K, RG3. Hammond throws it incomplete. You know, they play Arizona State next week in Tempe, and if Baron Morton can't go, they are going to have to figure out what they can do pass-wise with Hammond, who, again, was great in Salt Lake City a few weeks ago.
Yeah, he was, and he wasn't just great in the running game. I want to make sure we emphasize that enough. He was really ice cold. And when I say ice cold, I mean like ice in his veins, throwing the football against Utah, especially across the middle. So for him to be so off tonight, that's something that offensive coordinator Matt Leftwich is going to have to figure out. How do we get him in rhythm, and how does that change between him and Baron Morton?
He was 13 for 16 in that game against a very good Utah defense. Morgan Scalley knows how to attack quarterback. For now, Texas Tech is going to avoid the unbeaten pitfalls, it looks like, from earlier today. We'll find out. beatings left in the Big 12 Conference. Cincinnati went to 3-0 today with a victory over UCF. BYU trailing now to Arizona. Arizona State within 7. But they love Jacob Rodriguez here in Lubbock, Texas. And it's because they might have their best season ever this year.
Yeah, and you look at this list, Arizona State's got some quarterback issues. Now we see Texas Tech might have some as well. But the one constant among those is that Texas Tech has the best defense, and that could very well be the thing that helps them win it.
Here's Williams on the run for Kansas. Oh, he is just jarred and displaced in the hole by Curry. John Curry sets up 2nd and 8. Goodness.
Yeah, I want you guys to watch John Curry right here, where he's coming from like a hybrid safety linebacker position, gets downhill and really lays the wood on Le'Shawn Williams.
Here's Levi Wentz, who pays for his troubles. It's a gain of 9 for Kansas. Jayhawks team, yeah, they're hitting in a big way. You're watching it again up here in the booth, and it is some big-time collision stuff. That's got to be a hold. And here it comes. Yeah, Amir Herring was just trying to make sure Jalen Daniels made it through the night at quarterback.
Holding. Number 56, offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
He was trying to make sure Holmes stayed away from Daniels.
Yeah, somebody told him on the sideline, you see him right here. That's a clear hold. He's got a hold of the breastplate there, whips him around. He says, he's not giving up. We've given up 8 sacks tonight. We can't give up any more. Because they're going to need this guy, Jalen Daniels, for the rest of the season. So they've got to find ways in this last 6 minutes of the game to not get him beat up too much.
They've got the in-state game coming up against Kansas State after a bye. Harry Stewart on this carry. That's his first of the night. There's another marker in.
There's another hold, it looks like, on Herring again.
There's no foul for holding on the play. The result of the play is 2nd down.
Crowd is less than thrilled.
Yeah, you're going to see. I want you to watch Jacob Rodriguez. Don't pay attention to this hold right here because it's behind the play. That's why they didn't throw it. But Jacob Rodriguez is right there in the middle of your screen, and watch him just read it out. He doesn't wait. That's the best thing about him as a linebacker. He doesn't just sit there and wait and say, well, this is what coach told me to do. This is my responsibility. He says, okay, I see it, I diagnose it, and he pushes send and goes and finds the football. I love watching this guy play football.
Well, there's no undo button for Rodriguez. Here's Daniels just getting rid of it to Gruen, the tight end, on a middle screen to the 39. Can we double back for a second? I love that we talked about eye candy off the top of the show and not worrying about the motion and everything and just being great in your reads. I love that you made the audience do it. You circled what they shouldn't look at and said, don't look at this. Do this instead. You're just testing to see if they watched off the top of the show. It's great. Oh, look out. That whistle came to Bailey's ears just in time because Jalen Daniels is about to get whacked.
Oh.
False start. Number 70, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Right guard Kobe Baines. You want to circle it?
Yeah, I mean, Kobe Baines is just trying to get a jump start on trying to block this defensive front. And right there, you said that flag saved Jalen Daniels from another sack because David Bailey and Romello Height were in his face again at the drop of a dime. This is one of the most ferocious pass rushes I've ever seen.
Here it comes again. It's Romello Height this time. And down he goes. Holmes was in there second in pursuit with Height first. 9 times.
We talk about switch releases from the receivers all the time. Watch this switch release here from Romello Height and also A.J. Holmes Jr. Romello gets in, flushes him, and there's Holmes. He's like, hey, I got my sack too, baby. It is a sack party. You see him throw his hands up there at the end. That's how you know a big fella's having a good time, when he's running to the sideline like he just had a big old piece of cake.
A.J. Holmes transferred from Houston. He stayed home at first. He went to Ed Oliver's high school in Westfield and then came here to Texas Tech. Aiken rustles up a return. Cowboy Coy keeps his feet. Here he goes. He's across the 30. It was Lappin to take him out of bounds. His dad's a rodeo coach at Tarleton State. Mechanical bull on the return.
Watch him catch the punt, find the lane, get vertical, and then once again, go in and out and keep his feet. That's how you know he's got strength. They talk about him and his yards after the catch. It's because of that right there. And there he is, the rodeo king, Coy Aiken. Oh, man.
You know how you know he's tough? He got into a rodeo accident when he was 10. He broke his leg, and he ended up currently, right now, on that return, he wears a size 14 shoe on his left foot and a size 12 shoe on his right foot. That's tough. Here's a run for Dickey. He's been an absolute disaster to tackle tonight for Kansas. Down to the 10-yard line. He's got 263 on the ground.
Oh, my goodness. They're going to bring around the tight end, John Carlos Millis II, and their small guard, Davion Carter, to get him around the edge. And Cameron Dickey's trying to run for 300 yards. That's what it feels like to me right now. He said, you know what? I haven't had a 100-yard game before, so why not make it 200? Why not make it 3?
Well, they're going to need a penalty to get him the school record, though, because he doesn't have enough room. It's 1st and goal. He's got 263. The school record is Byron Hanspard. Great running back against Baylor in 1996. 287. Wow. For Byron Hanspard that year against Baylor. Fake it to Dickey. Hammond on the run. He's got Paydirt in mind. Oh, thunder at the pylon. Touchdown. Sparks flying.
Oh, my goodness. I just want you guys to listen to this. Listen to the thunder at the goal line. Lead with your pads, young man. Will Hammond's had a frustrating day throwing the football. But right there, he said, get in the weight room. Yeah, that's right. Even the quarterbacks lift weights at Texas Tech. He put that shoulder down to let them know he meant business.
That was Austin Alexander who got the brunt of it, who's had a really nice redshirt freshman season for Kansas. But Will Hammond, in breaking bad terms, is the one who knocks. Our Good Hands moment sponsored by Allstate, celebrating 20 years of the Allstate Good Hands Nets program. First play.
Cameron Dickey, right down the middle, 71 yards for the touchdown. He has been running loose with those big old quadzilla quads all day long. It was a pleasure for us to get a chance to talk to him yesterday. And as you said, Jason, ultimate team player. He wasn't worried about rushing yards. He wasn't worried about touchdowns or carries. He was worried about protecting his quarterback in the pocket. And he also did that early in the game to help Baron Morton throw a touchdown.
Yep.
He's been doing it all tonight.
This is what we've seen the best day anybody's had in college football today. I don't know who's topping that. By the way, as you watch Texas Tech over the course of the season, if you watch them heading maybe toward the college football playoff, we heard from Baron Morton, Cam Dickey can spin it too.
Oh, yeah.
He's a former quarterback.
Yeah.
He's got some skills in there as well, and Texas Tech has a deep playbook. But you can't talk about Texas Tech without talking about this defense and Jacob Rodriguez, because they've pitched a shutout in the second half.
I mean, it's just something about these former quarterbacks that they're just making plays for Texas Tech tonight. You see Jacob Rodriguez there scrape over the top. You see him run down the running backs when he's inside out. He is full effort sideline to sideline. You hear people say it all the time, but then he makes the special plays off the edge. You can line this guy up just about anywhere. On the end, at defensive end, at linebacker, probably at safety too. He's going to find a way to impact the game in a positive way.
You know, Jalen Daniels was under pressure for so long. They're going to get him out of this game. Cole Ballard is in to play quarterback, and he hands it off for Stewart. But on this Texas Tech defense, these are vicious tackles as well. Like, they make sure you feel it. And that's got to help them as this season wears on.
Yeah, it does. When you're an offense and you know, hey, late in this game, we're throwing some checkdowns, you see how they are pursuing the football. When we talked to defensive coordinator Sheil Wood, he said, you know what, we're always going to play with maximum effort and strain. You see it.
Yeah.
And I also have to give a shout out to Jacob Rodriguez for that mustache, because at some point we're going to see his mustache again. It is an epic, full face of hair mustache that is incredible.
Yeah, we're going to try and get there after this play on a tackle by Ramirez. So rate the mustache.
1 out of 10. I think it's a solid 9.7.
You think so?
Really, it's really thick, bushy, and it has little handlebars off to the side as well. Not quite all the way down the face, you know, but hey, man, if I see a middle linebacker like that, I know he means business. He's tough.
We'll get the marker first.
After the play is over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 88, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
They're going to call it against Amir Washington, the sophomore. They don't need that. If you're looking for one thing that Texas Tech's got to clean up, sorry to interrupt. Let's play rate the mustache.
No, it's fine. Look at that stash, man. Just glorious. Just glorious. It's not even No Shave November yet.
But it's coming soon.
It's coming soon. I wonder what it's going to look like then.
You and the rest of America. First down for Kansas. Ballard will swing it out wide. That's Stewart, the freshman tailback, who is ushered out of bounds. And this should be a 2-minute timeout coming up. They had to slide in one more ALCS promo with the Tigers guy in the booth. That's great. Earning me a higher Q rating in Detroit, presiding over that. Here's another handoff. No, congratulations to the Mariners. They've had a marvelous season. They'll take on the Blue Jays ALCS. Game number 1 coming up tomorrow. All Texas Tech here in Lubbock.
Sacked on the play.
Fox College Football is sponsored by Genesis Motor America. 372 on the ground tonight for Texas Tech. Landmines all over the college football landscape today of unbeatens going down. Oregon loses at home to Indiana. Oklahoma loses in Red River. But without Baron Morton, their quarterback, for the balance of this game, Texas Tech has held off Kansas.
Yeah, they have, and it's been a very, very wacky game of how we've gotten to this 42-17. But I think Texas Tech found out something about themselves tonight, and that's if they have to run the football every single play, they can do it.
That's great news for this team. as they get another stop here. By the way, it is officially 8 sacks, but it's felt like 18. They did take one away on something that turned into a 1-yard gain, whatever it might be. 8 sacks tonight is a massive number for this defense.
Yeah, it is, and you talk about who's the catalyst. Well, it's the guys getting up the field the hardest. David Bailey, number 31, and number 9, Romello Height. David has 3 tonight. Romello Height has 2 sacks, but you've also got other guys that are feasting. A.J. Holmes ended up getting 2 sacks, and it's just a collective effort from this defense, and defensive coordinator Sheil Wood knows it's a luxury to not have to actually blitz to create pressure. This defense is scary.
Now Ballard sees that pressure. He'll swing it out wide for Stewart. He's got a first down after the first carry for Justin Thurman on 3rd down. His classmate to gain a 10 for Stewart. Where does Kansas go from here?
Well, first I got to say, I got to give credit to Lance Leipold for what they were able to do to climb back into this game to make it 21-17. It is very clear when I was on the field before the game that this Texas Tech team is generally more talented than Kansas, but they showed enough fight early on to climb back in. I actually think it was a smart decision to pull Jalen Daniels out, knowing that he had been hit so much and had those 8 sacks. But they still have to keep chopping away the way that they have been. They know that the way that they win games is by slowing the game down and keeping the other offense off the field. And this is probably the first true blowout game that they've had all year.
They've got a big one with Kansas State coming up October the 25th, as we'll give you our game summary sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. You know, Baron Morton gets hit. It flips the game. He wanted to stay in, Robert, couldn't, and then Kansas scored 17 straight.
Yeah, it did. The Baron Morton injury really turned things around in this game, but then it was Will Hammond in the quarterback run game, getting him back in sync, and Cameron Dickey going off for 263 rushing yards. I mean, Texas Tech had 9 plays of 20-plus yards and 4 touchdowns on that. And then defensively, the 8 sacks and 12 tackles for loss really is what helped blow this game away.
It is the 5th largest rush game in Texas Tech history as we come down to zeros here. We have a whistle. The clock was still moving for a moment. Here's the remaining schedule for Texas Tech. On Fox next week in Tempe, then Oklahoma State, at Kansas State, which they showed today there's still life in that team against TCU. Boy, BYU here on November 8th. This place is going to be a madhouse.
It's the Big 12 has just really been a topsy-turvy league. Everybody can beat everybody, and that's why every single week you show up, you have to be on your A game. And for Tech, they weren't necessarily on their A game tonight offensively, but they found their B game. And that B game was pretty impressive. And sometimes when you are trying to win a Big 12 title and trying to be a national championship contender, you have to win games like this in unconventional ways that you're not used to.
They're still trying to jump routes there. That's Amir Boyd on the coverage. You know, they average 560-plus yards per game. That was #1 in the country coming in. Without Baron Morton for a chunk of this game, they're still at 505. He's having a good enough night. He's talking to the kicker, Belafont. How often did you talk to the kicker?
What's wrong with talking to the kicker?
Every time I bring up kickers, you're like, yeah, but the offense.
No.
Or like, yeah, but the defense.
I love the kickers. They just got one job. And if they don't do that job, nobody likes the kickers.
I just like the inclusiveness by Baron Morton. 3rd down and 6. Ballard. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. That is a statement by Texas Tech's defense right there. I mean, yikes.
Terrell Tillman right here coming on that loop. They've been running this game, this entire game up front, and he just pushed him down. He didn't even tackle him. He just pushed him down.
If Texas Tech's season so far could be one play, it would be that one. The Red Raiders have dominated everybody they've run into, winning by at least 24 in each game behind this defense. And a tough offense as well. 7th time in school history, they're 6-0, but they have more on their mind than just 6-0 here in Lubbock.
Of course.